CarMax offer or pay you $100. Plus, you can visit one of their locations or have them come to you. Sell your car the easy way with America's best car buyer. GiveMeTheVIN.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
This is Sheriff Rick Bradshaw with an important message. Hurricane season is here again, and I urge everyone to stay vigilant. Pay close attention to local weather updates and ensure your hurricane kits are prepared with the essentials that you need, like water, food, and medications. Remember, your safety is our priority, but let's stay safe together.
Enough is enough. Palm Beach County deserves more than just law enforcement. It deserves law empowerment. I'm Michael Gauger, and I'm running to be your sheriff. Not only do I want to enforce justice, we also want to enhance and empower your communities. It's time for leadership that not only maintains law and order, but also maintains hope, trust, and support for every single resident. Vote Michael Gauger for sheriff.
Paid for by Michael Gauger, Republican candidate for sheriff of Palm Beach County.
When the going gets tough, the tough get Storm Smart. Since 1996, Storm Smart has simplified the process of protecting your home. Our storm catcher screens and shutters are designed and manufactured here in Florida. Along with impact windows and doors, Storm Smart ensures your experience from purchase through installation is seamless. We know what it takes to keep your home safe, livable, and beautiful. Because Smart is making it easy to protect your home. And Smart is simple. Call 866-61-SMART today for your free in-home consultation.
Hey everybody, it's Hoda Kotb.
And I'm Al Roker from The Today Show. What's coming up this week, Hoda?
Well, Mr. Roker, we're celebrating your 70th. Oprah's getting in on your party.
Ooh, I cannot wait. Plus, we'll go inside the game with the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
Join us every morning on NBC, because every day needs today.
In today's Marketers Report, Erica Taylor, Chief Marketing Officer of Genentech, weighs in on audio's ability to reach any audience.
Everyone is listening somewhere, somehow. So it's a great way to take something very precise in what we're trying to do to reach patients with something that I think we can all agree is somewhat broad in reaching many, many different audiences.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
This is the sound of real people across Florida betting on sports. It's the sound of winning your bet, only on Hard Rock Bet. And if your first bet doesn't win, you get up to $100 back to try again. Hard Rock Bet is Florida's only legal sports book. Your home for betting hoops for any sport you choose. Download Hard Rock Bet now and get 2 shots at your first bet. Win, or you'll get up to $100 back as a bonus bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to play. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Please call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
And now, another insurance story from...
Smart Bunny. Smart Bunny.
Wow, I wonder how much all this costs. Shh. Well, it can't be cheap. Do we even have enough for our own you-know-what?
Honey, shh. I heard he bought final expense insurance through the Smart Bunny app.
The Smart Bunny app?
Like on your phone?
I know what an app is.
For the love of all things decent, be quiet.
Get up to $25,000 of lifelong coverage for funeral expenses, debts, and other needs for as little as $14 a month. And no medical exam is required. So hop on the Smart Bunny app now and grab some final expense insurance.
Honey, are you buying the insurance, like, right now?
Time is precious.
So true.
Shh. Smart Bunny Insurance.
Smart Bunny. Smart Bunny.
Your insurance super app. Insurance is sold by Smart Bunny Insurance Services and underwritten by various companies. Coverage exclusions and limitations may apply.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, if you're listening to me right now, I have one thing every business needs most: attention. Think about it. We swipe and scroll past stuff all day. But when we're driving, cooking, and working out, we're also listening. That's the magic of audio at iHeart. We're in your next customer's ears while they're living life and listening, just like you are right now. So get your customers to listen up today using radio, digital, and podcasts. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Don't miss our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One.
Las Vegas, and you're having a good time.
Friday and Saturday, September 20th and 21st. Streaming live only on Hulu.
iHeartRadio, let's go!
Get tickets now at AXS.com.
Here's traffic on Real Radio.
Watch for an accident Boca Del Mar Drive at Palmetto Park Road, an earlier crash Okeechobee Boulevard at Skis Road. Spot something on the roads? Call the traffic tip line. Pound 250, keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys Studios.
You been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
Turn on the radio. Turn on your radio.
Hey, guys, gals, friends, and pals. It's National Radio Day today.
I love radio.
I listen to radio.
Oh, it's just the radio.
Then I should be able to listen to the radio.
Think we could listen to the radio or something?
I'm the #1 DJ.
What station? I listen to the radio. I must have heard it.
It's X-rated radio, Barnyard Radio.
What are you listening to? Happy National Radio Day.
Come on, it's showtime.
Redefining radio. This is where the fun begins. Introducing Greek.
Let me tell you something. Don't ever love more you than anybody else you love more.
Francis.
Because then you're squeezing your banana so hard every time you come in here, and then you're pounding it on the desk.
Jimmy.
We haven't had to pull it for quite a while, so we're going to lube it up.
Let's get the party started. It's the Penthouse on Real Radio.
Yes, it is the Penthouse on Real Radio. R&R, baby, as I like to say, always 92.1. Keep it on here. Hope you listen to Rover and his crew this morning. Get you off to a good start. We got you for the next 4 or 5 hours to try to entertain you, put a smile on your face. Don't forget that keyword is still out there for you to go to Vegas, and see an unbelievable show and hotel, airfare, and $1,000. We'll give you those keywords as they come along, 9 o'clock and 1 o'clock, your chance. We got a big giveaway like we always do every day on Real Radio. We'll get into a lot today and so much more. Good morning, Jimmy.
Hello, and good morning. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. Francis is out today. She should be back with us tomorrow. If you want to get involved, you can call us at 877-927-6969. That's the number to call. You can also text us at Real Radio 47142, or you can email Jimmy. Jimmy at realradio921.com. So some big news out of Florida. I don't know if he waited till after the contract was done or not, but Tua had some comments about his old coach, and it's all over the place, nationwide. And he was pretty honest about what it is. Again, this is what he feels, and you got to respect him. Jimmy's got some audio, I know.
As soon as we can get there, we go.
Can you explain to us the difference in practical terms between having a coach who did believe in you the way that he did, and the difference between that and what was happening with Flores?
To put it in simplest terms, if you woke up every morning and I told you you sucked at what you did, that you don't belong doing what you do, that you shouldn't be here, that this guy should be here, that you haven't earned this right, and then you have somebody else come in and tell you, dude, you are the best fit for this. Like, you are accurate, you are the best whatever, you are this, you are that. Like, how would it make you feel listening to one or the other? and you hear it more and more, you start to actually believe that. You have a terrible person that's telling you things that you don't want to hear, or that you probably shouldn't be hearing, you're going to start to believe that about yourself. And so that's sort of like what ended up happening. And it was, it's basically been, 2 years of training that out of not just me, but, a couple of the guys as well that have been here since my rookie year all the way till now.
No surprise. I think it was pretty well known that Flores didn't like Tua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wanted Herbert. Stephen Ross, the owner, wanted Tua. That's been come out many times. It's just that this has come out, and this is a pretty big bombshell. Flores is now the coach of the Minnesota Vikings defense. I don't know if he's going to have a rebuttal or not. Maybe not. It doesn't really help him as far as his status going forward to get a head coaching job, to me. But, this is Tua's side, and, I tend to believe that he's being honest. And if that's what the coach did, it's a shame because Tua got paid for it. Tua didn't make the pick. Stephen Ross did. So Flores, if he had a beef, he should have brought it up with, obviously, the owner. Maybe he couldn't have, but he shouldn't have really went after Tua because, again, you're only hurting yourself by beating him up. And if you have been in this situation at work or anywhere else and you get beat up, you know what? After a while, you start believing it. And that's why a lot of times you got a bad boss. Like my dad used to say, he's your boss for now. He's not going to be your boss forever. Don't let them beat you down like that. This is a highest level of professional sports, football. And it's one of those situations where, like you said, it was known that he didn't like him. But when he comes out and says this a couple years later, that, he told him you suck, you don't belong here. That's got to be a lot on your confidence.
Yeah, I didn't quite expect that. I knew that he wasn't really fond of him, and he didn't want him as the long-term quarterback solution in Miami, as long as Flores was head coach. But I didn't think that it was quite that bad. And then, of course, not only that, but he's also accusing Flores of treating other players that way, too. And that I don't really recall too much of.
Well, you're not going to say that if you're on the team, because if you do, you know what happens. You're gone if Flores is still the coach. Now Flores is gone, a couple of years. Yeah. When he was there, you're not going to hear
given.
that. Yeah, you're not going to hear that. Tua, again, is speaking after a couple of years, and obviously he was on the radio show. They asked him about it. He responded. He just got his big contract last week. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. Maybe he feels a little bit more confident that he can say whatever he wants.
Yeah, well, when you're making that kind of money, I think that gives you a little bit of confidence that your team believes in you now.
Yeah.
Obviously, McDaniels has made it very clear that Tua is his quarterback for now and the future, as long as he's going to be there. I don't think there's any surprise there, unless his play drops off dramatically, which it could very well. You don't know. We only have 1 year of Tua, full year of Tua, to see how he's going to do, and he had a pretty good year. So I guess we'll have to see how that plays out from that point. But I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that'll say, well, he was asked a question and he responded. And, of course, Tua could have responded with something a little bit more plain and neutral and vanilla.
Yeah. He could have just said, let's just say, you know what, he wasn't a big fan of mine.
Well, we didn't get along or, it wasn't the greatest atmosphere, but we are now in a good position, blah, 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 right?
Yeah,
so obviously Tua wanted to say the words that he said.
Yeah, and he's still resentful. And you can't blame him. He feels like, what, now I come here every day and it's a different environment. And I'm getting people believing me. And the reason we're bringing it up, obviously, is big news. But everybody goes through this sometimes in work where a regular job, maybe your boss doesn't like you or your boss does make it difficult. And remember, you want an asset in your life, not a liability. You can't pick your boss, but if your boss is beating you up on a constant level, it's not good either. And especially, like you said, this is the highest level. I'm sure Stephen Ross is not happy about this morning, that these comments come out. It doesn't make the organization look good that any player has to go through this.
You think so? Considering the fact that Flores is now gone, does that make Miami look bad?
I don't think it's a good thing. I don't think it's a...
I don't think it makes Miami look... In my own personal take, I don't think it makes Miami look bad. I think it makes Flores look bad, but he already looked bad in my eyes.
Yeah.
For, that and multiple other reasons as well.
Well, to me, it's that's the franchise. So you know what? You're representing the franchise, and you allowed it to go on. So you are the owner, and Stephen Ross is, and he has lots to say with the team. So maybe he could have stepped in. I'm not going to buy, which everybody always says, I didn't know, because it was leaked out many times that Flores didn't like him. But this happened yesterday, and it was a comment that Tua had. And he made it gin clear. He was not treated fairly. If you got a comment, let us know. 877-927-6969. You could also text us at Real Radio 47142. Or you can email Jimmy at realradio921.com. And hopefully, like you said, it's all gone. I don't know if Flores has a comment after this. I don't know if he says something or not. You know, Flores.
So he's currently so Pittsburgh let him go. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's with Minnesota.
He's with Minnesota this year. Was that changed from last year to this year?
No, he was with Minnesota last year.
He was with them last year.
He did a very good job with the defense. And, you know, again, he's one of the guys, he was under the Belichick for years.
Right.
Belichick has a different mindset than a lot of these coaches today. McDaniels is, you know, obviously younger, believes in a lot of different things, different approach. But we'll see. Like I said, it's something.
Every coach has their own style of coaching, and that doesn't surprise me at all. I didn't know that because I thought he was fit in pretty decent there at Pittsburgh from what we understood.
I think that was
in the beginning. Yeah. Now there was the other issues that were going on too that just sort of got swept under the rug, huh?
Yeah, well, I think also with this whole situation, you know, he went with with Pittsburgh, and they gave him a shot, and then for Neri parlayed into Minnesota. He's a very good defensive coach. And also, there are some coaches that believe in bosses. Like, hey, if I beat you up, you're going to try harder. You know what I mean? Or you're going to want to prove me wrong and different things like that. So, you know, everybody's different, like I said. But Tua had his comments, and they are all over the place. I woke up early this morning to it. It's nationwide news, not just South Florida news. So if you got an opinion on this, let us know. Give us a call at 877-927-6969. That is the number to call if you want to get involved. And if you guys just say, hey, you know what, I believe Tua or I don't. There might be some people out there who don't believe Tua. It's National Radio Day, so we'll take a bow wow. Don't forget, you're going to get some keywords during the day for a trip to go to Vegas, which is unbelievable. Hotel, airfare, and $1,000. Jimmy, I know you got a list of things that millennials think might be fun.
15 older people things that millennials and boomers both agree on. And, of course, they always talk about how millennials and boomers just don't get along on anything. But there are some things that they agree with, like leaving voicemails and ranting about how the customer is always right and refusing to learn new technology. But here's a list of things that both millennials and boomers can agree on, and I think even others can as well, such as new car headlights are way too bright.
Yeah, they are bright.
Yeah, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I mean, you turn down the street, man, you could get blind. They are.
Mm-hmm. Social media was better when it only showed you content from friends and followed pages. And it was easier to pick up where your last scroll was, too, which is kind of different. That one surprises me a little bit only because I know millennials are more adaptive to social media changes, I should say, or trends. But I'm all right with that one. People shouldn't use speakerphone or listen to music without earbuds. Yep. You know, it's funny. We often see lists like this, like pet peeves or things that annoy other people that happens in public or things like that. And this always comes up on the list, yet so many people still do it.
I talked about it.
It's like I've never heard somebody go, "Oh, well, what's wrong with that?" And try to defend it.
No. We talked about it yesterday. One of the things that annoy people over the weekend. I was at some place and some kid had his whole conversation right next to me. Mm-hmm. And I heard the girl really giving him a hard time. And I was like, man, break up with her. But people continue to do it. Yeah. It's very big. I hear it. I see it a lot more in airports. I see a lot of people in airports, but I see it a lot too in restaurants and at like cafes when they're out, or even in the mall, like somebody's walking and they're talking really loud and they're next to you. You're like, dude, put in your headphones.
You see that phone kind of tilted out flat, right? So they're talking into the bottom side of it. You know, I see that quite a bit. We were with some friends over the weekend and out in a public area. It was at a nice hotel, and they had, an outside pool area and patio and lazy river and that type of thing. And everybody's on their phone. Yeah. Everybody, whether they're reading or something like that, or if they're talking, and again, just right out loud. Everybody can hear your conversation. Yeah. And I just don't understand why people want others to hear their business. That's the part of it that doesn't get me.
I think they're not even thinking, Jimmy.
No, they're not. They're not.
No. They're just focused on themselves.
Yeah, they don't care. Yeah. But I wouldn't... Like, my mindset is different. Like, I wouldn't want my private stuff out there.
Either.
That's all. That's
I
the
agree
only
100%.
Thing. Let's see. You shouldn't have to download an app for everything. These are things that millennials and boomers agree on. Let's see. Not everything needs to be recorded, photographed, and posted online. People need to stop speeding through neighborhoods. That's something I'll go with. No doubt about that. Grocery stores are too much work, from scrolling through an app to clip all the sales, and I think they mean coupons, to scanning and bagging all of your own purchases. All right.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you're going to have to do something.
Yeah, really. That one kind of surprised me a little bit, right? You know,
you want to walk in, they just go, here you go.
Yeah, I mean, they complain about needing an app for everything, and then grocery stores. Do you remember? I'm sure you do. Remember the days of mom would sit down with the Sunday paper and clip all the coupons out manually, right? And then you'd have here's for this store, here's for this store, here's for this store, and then you drive around to 3 different grocery stores and use all that gas, right? And then here nowadays, I don't know. They think what they have to go through now is too much. That one kind of jumped out at me as a little bit different.
They're spoiled.
Especially with millennials and boomers here. These are things that millennials and boomers agree on. Restaurants should offer an actual menu and not a QR code. I'm with that.
Yeah, me too.
Tips should be for sit-down meals in restaurants only. We're starting to see more and more pushback on tipping.
Yeah.
There should be zero work-related texting, especially during non-work hours. All communications, and here's the key, all communications should be through a work email account. And that's something that doesn't bother me. I don't mind the texting. I get the whole after,
certain time,
not including non-work hours. I mean, I get that. People don't want to be bothered after work, but I don't mind communicating through text anymore. What's the difference between that or an email?
Yeah,
I don't know. Seems kind of the same to me, but maybe I'm missing something there. Touch screen keyboards aren't as good as actual physical keyboards. I've never tried one, so I don't know how hard they are to use. If I say something to you, I'd like an acknowledgement that you heard me. And that's pretty, that just should be a simple matter of respect, right?
Yeah, common sense. Just, I got it.
That I agree with. I'm not instantly available at any waking moment just because it's technically possible for me to see your messages right away. That I agree with. In other words, you don't respond quick enough, right? And writing notes by hand on paper is better than typing notes. I don't know about that. Again, just from my own personal usage. And the way that Gen Z makes hearts with their hands with everything. I don't know. That one's kind of silly. We'll end on a funny one there. But those were things that millennials and boomers agree on. What is something that you agree on, whether you're a boomer and you're talking about millennials or vice versa? 47142. I've got that text line wide open.
The biggest one for me is what we said, the phone. Just constantly... Every day, if you're out and about, at least I do, I hear somebody on their phone. And it could be in a restaurant. It could be at the cigar bar. It could be shopping, Publix. Like the other day, somebody was doing FaceTime in an aisle. Like you think back to years ago and somebody wanted something, a certain brand. So the person showed the camera, FaceTime going back and forth. And which one do you want? You hear the whole thing. Get the large. It's like, dude, it's friggin' cereal.
If there's a couple of things, I get something like that. They're just trying to. But, people just have such a loud and open conversation where it's just like, okay. To me, I'd be like, all right, which one is it? That type of thing.
Yeah, of course.
But that's just, again, me. I don't like to put everything out there.
And then when somebody's by you sometimes, at least I think they're talking to me. I was in Starbucks.
It can give you that impression, right?
Yeah. Somebody was in front of me. Behind me, and I turned around because they asked a question. They weren't asking me. They were asking the person.
Right.
But I turned around and said, excuse me? And they go, I'm on the phone. Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. I don't want to bother you. It is the Penthouse on a Tuesday, National Radio Day. So if you're in radio, take a bow wow. We are privileged to do this job, and we enjoy it. And we want to always thank you guys, too, for listening. We're going to come back with a trifecta, this day in history, and a lot more. Peace.
Real radio is the news junkie.
My Nine Inch Nails take is not a very popular one with Nine Inch Nails fans. Pretty Hate Machine was an excellent album, and everything after it sucked.
Not even Downward Spiral?
That's what he considers the rest of the songs to be. From Pretty Hate Machine, it was a downward spiral.
The News Junkie, weekday afternoons at 3 on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Getting you up to speed on traffic on Real Radio.
Watch for an accident Boca Del Mar Drive at Palmetto Park Road, an earlier crash Okeechobee Boulevard at Skis Road. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line. Pound 250, keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
This report is sponsored by Our American Stories.
This is Lee Habib, host of Our American Stories. On our next episode, we'll tell the story of how ancient Rome and ancient Greece influenced our founding fathers. You won't want to miss the next episode of Our American Stories.
Got a car to sell? Hey, it's Franny, and whether it's your daily driver, classic muscle car, or even a whole collection, GimmeTheVin.com wants it. Skip the hassle of dealerships and lowball offers. At GimmeTheVin.com, just enter your VIN or license plate and get a top dollar offer in minutes. They'll even beat a CarMax offer or pay you $100. Plus, you can visit one of their locations or have them come to you. Sell your car the easy way with America's best car buyer, GimmeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hello, I'm Laurel Diaz. I'm running for Sheriff of Palm Beach County. We're living in a very dangerous time right now. We have active shooters and terrorist attacks all across our nation. It is important that you have a sheriff that will protect you and your family to the best of his ability. I have a master's degree in Homeland Security and Emergency Management, and I've commanded the toughest divisions of Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office and abroad. Do not trust the safety of your family to a social worker. Vote Diaz for Sheriff August 20th. This is a paid political effort. Laurel Diaz for Sheriff of Palm Beach County.
Hey, it's Greek. When's the last time you looked at your 401k? A lot of people say set it and forget it. I don't believe in that. And the people at Trajan Wealth don't either. Call them today at 561-390-1000, 561-390-1000. Offices in West Palm Beach. Stop in today and sit down with one of their experts. Figure out a plan. See what's working for you and see how your money can grow. They'll give you all the right answers to all your questions. Trajan Wealth. Call them today. 561-390-1000, 561-390-1000. Every day passes, you're a day closer to retirement, and you should enjoy your retirement. Trajan Wealth can help you. Peace. Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor, paid advertisement.
When a hurricane hits, it's best to be prepared. That's why for the past 28 years, StormSmart has over 100,000 Florida product installations. Our innovative storm catcher screens and aluminum shutters are designed and manufactured here in Florida. Along with impact windows and doors, StormSmart can protect every opening of your home. At StormSmart, we take pride in living and working in the same communities we serve, because smart is going with a proven and trusted solution. Call 866-61-SMART today for your free in-home consultation.
Injured on the job? It takes one phone call to take back control of your life. Anna Jar Levine will fight to get you the compensation you deserve. Call me, Glenn Levine, for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Is there a sticker on your garage door? If something goes wrong and you need an expert to solve your problem, are you just going to call that number because the sticker told you to? I mean, isn't that something your husband would do? Better call these guys, honey. The sticker said so. Can't violate the International Sticker Code now, can I? What kind of self-respecting man in a house surrenders his independence to a ratty old scrap of paper with glue on the back? Of course, if you find a Mo Better Garage sticker on it, you might want to listen to your husband just this once. Because all garage door stickers are not created equal. No matter who installed your garage door, you can call us to repair it. Our technicians are expertly trained on the widest range of equipment with the experience to solve any problem. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. After we fix it, we'll put our sticker on it. So your husband has someone to call.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
This is the story of the one. As a facility technician installing a new welding station, he knows getting the ventilation right is critical for safety. That's why when questions arise, there's Grainger. Grainger offers detailed technical product information online at his fingertips, so it's easy to find what he needs. Because when it comes to safety, having answers means he and his people can breathe a little easier. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes. Yep.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
I'm Wendy Sartori-Link, your Palm Beach County Supervisor of Elections. Palm Beach County is election ready. Protecting your vote is our top priority. Rest assured, every eligible vote will be secure and counted accurately. Your vote matters. Visit votepalmbeach.gov.
Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
From the Gordon and Partners Weather Center. Have you been injured in a motor vehicle accident? Call 561-333-3333 or go to fortheinjured.com.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. Skies are partly cloudy to mostly sunny as we continue through our Tuesday morning. Temperatures are starting to head up into the 80s out there. Highs, though, back in the low to mid-90s today. Hot and humid. It's going to feel like it's in the triple digits through the afternoon. And we'll see a few storms, mostly starting inland and then moving northeast towards the coastline throughout the day.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's new Saucy Nugs, a whole new way to nug. The best nugs are now even better. Wendy's new Saucy Nugs take the nugs you love and sauce them up in bold flavors, including buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, and spicy ghost pepper. Try them all today. For a whole new way to nug, it's gotta be Wendy's, a participating U.S. Wendy's.
Between the lines, far beyond legal and ethical limits, and under the surface,
dangerous or disruptive to the existing status quo.
Hosts Ben Bolin, Matt Frederick, and Noel Brown introduce you to the world of stuff they don't want you to know.
We have officially entered the age of biohacking.
History is riddled with unexplained events. Is somebody messing with us? Now it's time for some answers.
Take us to the edge of the rabbit hole. We'll do the rest.
Listen to Stuff They Don't Want You to Know on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Stuff They Don't Want You to Know and start listening.
Greek Trifecta is sponsored by Jason Weiser, attorney at law.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. Listening to the Penthouse. Now back to the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Yes, it is the Penthouse on a Tuesday. R&R, baby. Thank you so much for tuning in to Real Radio. Francis is out today. Hopefully be back with us tomorrow. Jimmy's in the house.
Hello and good morning.
And it is time for a trifecta and this day in history.
Riders up. It's Greek's Trifecta.
All right, Steve Kerr is done coaching an Olympic team, so it's going to fall on Coach Lou and Tyronn Lue and Coach Spo down in Miami. Kerr just helped the U.S. team get a gold Olympic medal. He's done it a few years, and he said he's done. He's going to focus on some other things. Yankees take on Cleveland today for a big series. Both are in first place. Yankees have the second-best record in baseball with 73 wins, tied with the Phillies, and the Dodgers have the most wins with 74, which is amazing with all their injuries they had. But that over-under for the Dodgers, it's going to be close. We got all September and maybe 10 days, so I know it's going to be right there. Can the Dodgers get over 104? We'll see what happens. And Tom Brady's list of the top 3 quarterbacks. You're going to hear this now a lot going forward. Tom Brady this, Tom Brady that, Tom Brady's list. Tom Brady says this. I want to see what he thinks the top three models are. But his top quarterbacks, he said number 1, Patrick Mahomes, head and shoulders, number 1. Josh Allen is number 2. And Lamar Jackson is number 3. That's his top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. And that is your first Greeks trifecta. Now over to Jimmy for this day in history.
On this day in history.
Well, we will do just that, too, where we're going to stay with sports, because in 1920, the American Professional Football Association formed with Jim Thorpe as president. That would later become, of course, the National Football League. 84 years ago today, 1940, after the RAF held back a Nazi invasion of Britain, Prime Minister Winston Churchill paid tribute to the Royal Air Force, saying, quote, "Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few." 79 years ago today, 1945, Brooklyn Dodgers' Tommy Brown hits a home run in an 11-1 loss to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now, this may seem a little bit insignificant, but what came from this is that Tommy Brown was 17 years old at the time. And to this day, according to this, Brown remains the youngest player to ever hit a home run in Major League Baseball history.
Wow, that's amazing. 17.
17 years old.
And it still stands.
50 years ago today, in 1974, Nolan Ryan of the California Angels became the first Major League pitcher to have a fastball clocked at over 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, I heard that. Unbelievable.
49 years ago today, 1975, the robotic U.S. spacecraft Viking 1, built to explore the surface of Mars, was launched and nearly 1 year later landed in the northern hemisphere of the planet. Now, something very similar, just 2 years later, in 1977, the United States launched Voyager 2, an unmanned spacecraft carrying a 12-inch gold-plated phonograph, it was a record, that scientists hope aliens would find and play to learn from Earth. The record had greetings in 55 languages, nature sounds, and samples of music, including Mozart, Beethoven, and Chuck Berry's Johnny B. Good. 28 years ago today, in 1996, President Clinton approved the first federal minimum wage increase in 5 years, raising the hourly minimum by 90 cents to $5.15 per hour. The current federal minimum wage is $7.25 per hour. And finally, 13 years ago today, in 2011, Kim Kardashian married Chris Humphries, and that lasted a whopping 72 days as man and wife. And that's what happened on August 20th in our history.
Over under on that was 75 days.
Oh, wow. Did you have the under?
No, I did not.
Oh.
Under. I do have a good friend of mine who went to that wedding. And he said it was a fun wedding. Everybody was very, very nice. Everybody was really, really cool. But, 72 days, not a good situation. A lot of stuff came out with Matthew Perry last week where 5 people were arrested, and rightfully so, 2 doctors, and his death. And there was a lot of articles keep coming out. His birthday's coming up pretty soon. He would have been 55, very young. He passed away way too young. But also the Friends creators talked to him many times about, hey, if you want to take some time off. And he said, no, this is all I got. Because they knew, obviously, the whole 10 years he was fighting addiction, whether it was pills or drinking, drugs. But he said only one season. This is amazing to me, Jimmy. One season out of 10, he was sober. Only one. And that was season 9. That was the only year he was sober. The other 9, he was always banged up. So, and to be at that level, get Emmys, be on a top show, a number 1 show, be a big part of it. It's pretty impressive when, this guy was fighting all that stuff. And you didn't even, nobody even knew. They kept it very quiet, obviously. The 6 of them were like thick as thieves, as they would say. But only 1 year he wasn't banged up, which is, like I said, it's just unbelievable what he dealt with and what he went through.
Yeah, it's
addiction is a very bad thing.
It's but not surprising for Hollywood,
Yeah.
I mean, not that I'm giving it an excuse or anything, but I mean, it's not like drugs haven't been in Hollywood for a long time.
No, they have,
it's
but
very common.
To me, the 9 years is a long time to be on there. You know what I mean? And not slip up. And nobody knew. That never came out. It's not like there was rumors about it and stuff like that. And if anybody ever said, who do you think's on drugs on Friends, I don't think his name would have popped up right away.
Well, not amongst the public, but they knew, right?
Of course,
they kind of knew on set. I mean, that was part of what you just mentioned.
The creators knew and the staff knew.
Yeah, and what do they do about it? And what's their responsibility to it?
He was in rehab many times.
Yeah, and I think that because it was out there, wasn't it, to some extent to the public?
I never heard it.
A little bit.
I never heard anything. I never heard one thing. I don't think anybody did until years later. He was in rehab again a couple of different times. But again, 9 out of 10 years, he's saying, you know what? And then he also, described where, his weight loss would be different or, different things about him when he was on pills or he was drinking.
Yeah.
But it's just sad.
That went up and down a little bit from what they were saying. Some of the things that we have heard in the past, but obviously all this is coming out now recently again with those 5 other people that are going to be tried as far as the part of enabling him with the ketamine addiction that he had, and
it's sad.
I remember that one doctor that said to send a text to the other doctor saying, "How much you think we can get from this sucker?" or something like that.
Yeah, that's bad.
Man, you see something like that, it just really hurts.
Sad, very sad. And his assistant was involved in it. Somebody you trust, and you know what? Every day it's your assistant. You think, hey, I don't have to worry about them. It's a shame. It is a shame. And God forbid if you ever have a situation like that, you got to get help. That's what you got to do and put yourself around the right people. But again, he would have been 55 years old, and his birthday is coming up. 877-927-6969. That is the number to call. If you guys want to get involved, bring up Tua. Talked about him this morning where he just slammed his old coach about the way he was handled. Also, Taylor Swift is coming up, and there are already some unbelievable bids going on. There is a place that's offering up right now 2 tickets to Taylor Swift, okay? Great seats, by the way, on the floor. Couple nights stay at the Hard Rock. Autographed guitar by Taylor Swift. And a signed Travis Kelce jersey. They're expecting for the October 18th, they're expecting the opening bid to be $20,000. Opening bid. They're looking for $20,000, and hopefully it goes up to $30,000.
I'm sorry. Did you say that was for a charity?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It is a charity. I believe it's Big Dog Ranch Rescue.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what they're opening up with, and 2 tickets to Taylor Swift, Hard Rock Stay, Taylor Swift signed guitar, and Kelce. They threw in a jersey for him. That's a huge amount.
Yeah,
hope they get it.
Well, that guitar, that's something special.
Yeah, the tickets are long. I mean, it's crazy what the tickets are going for. Upper Decks right now, I see they're going for $3,000, $3,500.
Yeah, I believe it.
Upper Deck.
Yeah, I believe it.
Which is crazy. Mm-hmm. I can't even imagine the floor. I mean, if you got floor seats and you're selling them, wow. You're going to print it. You're going to need the machine.
Yeah.
And they'll sell. I mean, they will.
That's the thing, yep.
And October 18th will be here before you know it.
It's a rich person's game now.
Oh, yeah. Well, with her, no doubt. All concerts are very expensive, like we said, but hers are just outrageous.
A lot of concerts now, and so all sporting events, everything. It's just it's out of hand for the
average person.
The average person.
Yeah, there's no way. 100% right. Yeah. I know you had something interesting about volunteering to help people, which I always think is great. If you could ever volunteer in any aspect of life and help somebody out, I think it's a great thing.
Well, National Radio Day, so the power of radio, because that's what really got this started. But after hearing an ad on the radio, Navy veteran Springer Blankenship decided to sign up to volunteer with I Want to Mow Your Lawn, which is a grassroots organization that deploys volunteers to mow lawns across the country for free. And this is to help out older adults, veterans, and people with disabilities. It's a great this thing looks awesome. Blankenship was tasked to help Michael Seams, who is an Air Force veteran, and Glenn Burney, who has ALS. As the disease progresses, Seams struggles to care for his, had a hard time taking care of his lawn by himself there. So the group I Want to Mow Your Lawn has nearly 500 volunteers.
Very cool.
Who have mowed over 2,000 lawns for free. Blankenship has mowed over 100 lawns himself, and he maintains 7 homes on the regular.
Wow.
The organization equips him with environmentally friendly gear donated by Greenworks Commercial and noise-canceling headphones donated by ISO Tunes. I Want to Mow Your Lawn is accepting volunteers, donations, and new clients who need free lawn care services. And it is simply that. I Want to mowyourlawn.com. You can go check that out if you want to donate some time or want to donate maybe a little bit of money to help keep them going. But it looks like a pretty cool idea. I've seen one of the trends on social media as far as making videos are guys that own especially smaller landscaping businesses, and they'll see an overgrown lawn and they'll go up and knock on the person's door and say, hey,
I've seen that.
Is it okay if I
really cool.
mow your lawn for you? And They do it, and of course, they're doing it because they want to help their business, right? I mean, they put out a good video of them volunteering and creating, something like that, and creating a video for it so that people can see it. So there is a little bit of motivation there that might be considered a bit selfish, but they're still giving their time. I mean, we're talking about lawns that haven't been cared for in years, right? That they're going to help them out. So, I mean, there's all kinds of overgrown stuff that I've seen. So this is kind of a neat thing that if it can help out a veteran, somebody with disabilities, I love it. I want to mowyourlawn.com. I'm going to look into it too, maybe make a small donation to it and see if there's anything in our area to do. And maybe I can help out a little bit myself. But I thought that was a pretty cool thing to see. And it all stems from a radio advertisement, and just goes to show the power of radio and how it can influence our lives.
It's great. It really is. I think anytime you can help people, like I said, it's a fantastic thing. And I've seen those a lot of times, those videos, because it is pretty funny when they first knock on a door. Obviously, the person's a little apprehensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And says,
you want to do this for free?
It
can be.
And because you don't believe it. You always think there's something like, I got a text over the weekend, and I obviously I didn't respond, but it said, hey, I won the lottery, and you're one of 11 people I've reached out to, and I've won millions of dollars, and I want to give it to you. And I'm like, yeah.
Right.
It was also the time. It was like 11:45, and I'm like, but you're one of 11 people. I feel honored. And give us a call. And I only need $1,800 from you, and we can make this process happen. But when you see it,
I never get to that point because when I see it, I don't click on the link because I know that link's probably some sort of spam or a Trojan horse or something that's going to infect your phone or computer. So I never even get to the point where, just send us this much and we'll send you this check. I mean, I never understood that concept that people could think that would be legitimate, but it does and it works.
Yeah, because when you see it in print, you're like, wow. And then you look at the name. I said, I don't know. Now, if it was a name I knew.
Well, watch, because that'll be the next thing that they do. They
like
start finding friends that they can make it sound like it's coming from them.
Yeah, like say it was your name and you were out to work Monday. I'm like, ooh, Jimmy hit it.
Yeah.
He's thrown my way. Something like that. But yeah, it was one of those scams, obviously. But it was pretty funny. 10 after 11 when I saw something like that. I'm like, oh, this is cool. But this is not legit. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, stay away from that stuff. But I also think that what you just talk about, that program is so nice if you can help somebody who's a little bit older or anybody.
Yeah.
And maybe even somebody who's younger and has kids and can't get out there and can't maintain.
Somebody with disabilities, so a veteran that can't get, do it themselves. Anything like that. I mean, again, what's it take? A half hour or something of your time, maybe an hour of your time to help out just a little bit. I love to see groups like that to get out there and help the people.
It's great.
And it's really neat.
Because a lot of people don't want to ask for help, too.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
It's difficult, or they don't even know where to ask,
You're right.
I mean, if you think about something like that, I mean, where would you think to ask, can somebody help me mow my lawn? I mean, I wouldn't even begin to know where to go.
I'm sure there's a lot of different things you could do, too. I'm sure a lot of people who are a little bit older, maybe if they have pets, can you help me walk my dog? It might be hard for them to get in and out, especially in the cold environments. Up north where it's freezing. You got to go outside, walk your dog. It's 20 degrees, stuff like that. But I think I'm 100% with you. I think it's a great thing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Anytime if you know of a neighbor, keep an eye on your neighbor. You know, we kind of lost that in today's day and age, where people don't look out for each other as much. And you know what? I'm just as guilty. I don't do it as much as I should. I focus mostly on my family, my parents, because they're in that age bracket now. And so it's, I kind of keeping an eye on things there as well. But, it doesn't hurt to help out your community a little bit.
No, and I think anytime you can be nice to somebody and just show the friendship. I would see people a lot of times in my elevator and different things like that. There was a lady who was in her 70s. She would always bake me cookies and things like that, and always tell me when a new girl moved into the complex or a building. I didn't see her for a week or two. So one day I went down to the front desk and I asked them, and they said, no, she's here. And then I saw her in the hallway. And
good.
I just, because you don't see them. You think like you just
well,
said,
you think the worst, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes, you don't see somebody that's elderly for a while. And, unfortunately, that creeps into your mind.
Oh, my mom, when a couple times she has a phone and there were some problems up there and her phone didn't work. She doesn't have a cell. I had called my brother right away. I said, I didn't get her today. If I don't get her in one day, I worry.
Yeah,
You just never know.
I would too.
Yeah.
Especially being that far away.
Of
Because
course.
there's nothing you can do. Because that compounds it. I don't care what anybody says.
Yeah.
If you don't have the physical ability to just drive over, right? Because that's the one thing. I mean, you mention it a lot. You know, give your parents a call. Give your loved ones a call.
I always do.
Stay in touch with them. And me, I like one step further because I have the ability to go see them.
Which is
You know,
great.
so I'd rather do that than just call them, right?
Of
You know,
course.
but that's just my own personal thing. But I have the ability. If you don't have that ability, boy, that's got to hurt. You know, I mean, that makes it harder. I hear it in my brother's voice.
Yeah,
you know, because when something happens and my mom is sick or my dad is sick, you know, he can't do anything.
Nope.
You know, he can't drive over to say hello.
But it takes 5 seconds to pick up the phone.
Yeah,
I don't care
Oh
who it is.
no, and I'm not disputing that. I'm not saying anything on that at all. I think it's great if you can, you know, just pick up the phone and at least communicate that way.
Yeah, and it's you know what? It gives you peace of mind.
Yeah.
Definitely does. If I don't talk to her at night or in the morning, I worry right away. I'll call my brother. Hey, go get her. Go check on mom. It is the Penthouse on a Monday, Tuesday. So you have something, Jimmy?
47142 is the text line. I got it open here. Now, we were talking a little bit earlier about Tua. So this text came in and says, Flores is kind of old school, but also there are coaches who use this tactic to try to better players. Seldom does it work. Positivity and positive feedback always work in favor of almost every animal, especially human. So that's their take on that situation with Tua and Flores. And we'll give this a refresh and see if there's anything else. I got this one in talking about Matthew Perry. There's hundreds of celebrities that have been blown out, quote unquote, as Greek would say, and have won all the awards. What is G talking about? Most people in entertainment are on something or other. I mean, we just hear about it. I think there's also a difference between, being a drug user and then like being on drugs while you're doing your craft.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times that's all done at the after parties and things like that at night and weekends or whatever.
What I was saying that he was banged out 9 out of 10 years.
Yeah.
That's what I found odd. Not that he was doing drugs in Hollywood, because guess what? Everybody does it. I know that. I was saying 9 out of 10 years is a long time to be banged out and to be on one of the most successful shows, and also that they kept it so quiet.
Yeah.
Because I think if that came out when the show was on, it would have been a blockbuster. It would have really, and I don't know how it would have affected the show. You know, what it was. A different time.
Well, yeah, different time, less social media, less it getting around. It's more in the tabloids.
Yep.
You know, I'm sure there was some stuff in the tabloids back then, too. You know?
Yeah, it's just, again.
It's not like today where the slightest thing, rumor gets out there and it gets blown up across the entire world now. I mean, it's global. All this stuff is global now.
Social
it's not
media
even
today is unbelievable. A couple weeks ago, there was a football player in the NFL, and they knew what plane he was on and what seat he was in on an airline. That's unbelievable to me. You want to talk about like being involved and being in trenches, knowing the row and the seat. I was like, man, there's nothing. And it was a free agent going to visit some team.
Look at these, these people that have these websites that track celebrities and where they
Their
are
planes.
at any given time on an airplane and all that information. It's quote unquote public knowledge that they can get a hold of. I mean, we heard it with Elon Musk and his family, Taylor Swift and where her planes are.
Yep.
She had multiple ones. So, which one was a decoy?
Oh, yeah. She had 9. It is the Penthouse on a Tuesday. We'll be back with some Florida stories and maybe a special caller to join us, too. We'll be back. Peace.
The bad news, the brain isn't all that great at hearing stuff and remembering it. The good news, you can watch us too. Like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Real Radio 92.1.
Hey, it's Rover. Real Radio wants to give you $1,000 and send you to Vegas, baby. We're giving you a round-trip airfare to Las Vegas, a 2-night hotel stay, and we'll give you 2 tickets to both nights of our iHeartRadio Music Festival. And oh yeah, $1,000 too. Listen for the keywords to text every weekday at 9 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. And good luck from Rover's Morning Glory and Real Radio.
Let's see what's up with traffic on Real Radio.
Watch for an accident Boca Del Mar Drive at Palmetto Park Road, an earlier crash Okeechobee Boulevard at Skis Road. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line. Pound 250, keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's best sale of the year, Labor Day sale. Save up to $900 on select adjustable mattress sets from Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Sealy. Plus, get up to a $300 instant gift for pillows and more.
You hear more and more about identity theft in the news every day. That's because so much of your personal info is out of your control, like your insurance provider that has your social security number and your favorite retailer that has your payment details. If they get breached, your information's vulnerable. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code PLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes. Yeah.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
Hey, it's the Greek from Monroe's and Palm Beach, 7 days a week. That's where the beautiful ladies are. Open to 5 a.m. with a 5-star menu. And Sunday night is Midnight Madness. Every Sunday from 12 to 2. In the biz, 50% off drinks. Step right up, spin a wheel of madness, win amazing prizes. Sunday night at Monroe's. Get you ready for the week. Monroe's and Palm Beach. That's where all the sexy, beautiful ladies are. Peace!
Hi there. I'm Mia. I'm Air.
You're Air?
Yeah, I just got out of the lungs of someone smoking a cheap little cigar outside a bodega. Oh, it was so smoky in there. And where there's smoke, there's
fire.
Cancer.
Oh.
Yeah. Little cigars might taste sweet, but they still kill. I'm supposed to be helping people, not unhelping them.
You mean hurting?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm a bit of an airhead.
Little cigars are just as dangerous as regular cigarettes. Find out how to quit today at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
High five! Up top! Heck yeah!
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep. Dave's feeling it, but it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Woo! Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
As fall approaches, you have a lot to prepare for. Back to school, sporting events, family gatherings, and staying on top of your health. The virus that causes COVID-19 continues to evolve. So this fall, no matter what you're prepping for, you can prioritize your family's health and make a game plan for COVID-19 vaccination. Ask your doctor or pharmacist to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Don't miss our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One.
Las Vegas, and you're having a good time.
Friday and Saturday, September 20th and 21st. Streaming live only on Hulu.
iHeartRadio, let's go!
Get tickets now at AXS.com.
Real Radio weather.
From the Gordon & Partners Weather Center, have you or a loved one been injured through no fault of your own? Call 561-333-3333 or go to fortheinjured.com.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. Skies are partly cloudy to mostly sunny as we continue through our Tuesday morning. Temperatures are starting to head up into the 80s out there. Highs, though, back near the low to mid 90s today. hot and humid. It's going to feel like it's in the triple digits through the afternoon. And we'll see a few storms, mostly starting inland and then moving northeast towards the coastline throughout the day.
This report is sponsored by Red Pilled America.
This week on Red Pilled America, we answer the questions, what is a conspiracy theory and why have they become so common? By telling the story of the social media giant TikTok. Listen to Red Pilled America wherever you listen to podcasts. That's Red Pilled America, a storytelling show.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. To the Penthouse. Now back to the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
It is the Penthouse on Real Radio on a Tuesday. Thanks for always tuning in to Real Radio. Francis is out today. Should be back with us tomorrow. Jimmy's in the house.
Hello and good morning.
Jimmy's going to do some Florida stories. Then we'll get into a friend of ours on hold.
Florida.
Did you say Florida? I'm from Florida.
WTF.
What the Florida? Well, Florida man was arrested in New Cumberland Borough on Monday for his alleged involvement in installing skimming devices in fuel pumps in that area, according to Fairview Township Police Department. Police say Jorge Yandy Cabrera Tapenez, 31 of West Palm Beach, Florida, was arrested on Monday after investigating two malfunctioning fuel pumps at a local gas station. During the investigation, officers learned skimming devices had been installed on those pumps. Officers said, and they identified Cabrera Tapenez as a suspect through surveillance camera footage and DNA evidence from the devices. Cameras are always looking, people.
Yes,
York County Regional Police found a similar device inside an ATM earlier in August and warned individuals using ATMs to be cautious of anything unusual. Although skimming devices can be hard to find, the Federal Trade Commission has ways to spot them, and you can usually see them if you look closely enough on these devices. So whenever you pull up to a gas pump, take a look at those, or ATMs, the two most common areas you would see them. Next up, a Florida mom was arrested. Listen to this, Greek, what she did. She was arrested after she allegedly used an electric screwdriver to put a screw in her 12-year-old daughter's butt.
Oh, my God.
This happened in Pinellas County, and the sheriffs got involved. Jacqueline Gazinski, 40 years old, was arrested on Friday and charged with child abuse after the alleged incident unfolded on July 20th. According to an arrest affidavit, David Kaczynski and three children were hanging picture frames when she approached her 12-year-old daughter and asked her, "Have you ever been screwed in the blank?"
Oh.
I mean, that alone, the tone of that alone can mean...
Yep. It's terrible.
Just terrible. That's when the mom allegedly put an electric screwdriver to her daughter's left butt cheek, pressed down on a trigger, and drove the screw into her buttocks. The screw was stuck in the victim's rear end until she mustered up enough courage to pull it out.
Oh, my God.
The girl still had a visible mark on her backside. Kaczynski has since been released from the Pinellas County Jail after posting $25,000 bond, according to jail records. Finally, a Port Richey resident was arrested after he led troopers on a roughly 7-mile chase down US 19 on Monday. Aaron Springhart, 32, was arrested after crashing his vehicle. He tried to flee, but witnesses helped troopers and deputies with the Pasco County Sheriff's Office track him down. Chase was initiated after a reckless driver blew by a trooper, according to FHP spokesman. The chase began around 7:15 a.m. and on US 19 near Embassy Boulevard, Pasco County. According to FHP, the driver sideswiped several vehicles at 4 different locations along US 19. No injuries were reported, thank goodness. Troopers lost sight of the vehicle near US 19 and Sunray Drive shortly after, and the vehicle crashed 2 miles afterwards, and they were able to apprehend him then. And that's your What the Florida for this hour.
Thank you, Jimmy. We do
People,
enjoy-
what's wrong with these people?
Yeah, the screw. Oh, my God. Whacked out.
I couldn't even imagine, like, even joking about that with your child at 12 years old.
Terrible. At any age.
I'm sure she was on drugs, too, or high.
Terrible. Jimmy, we got a friend on the radio?
Yeah, we do. We got a friend on the radio. Hey, friend, you're on the radio.
Boys, how are we doing? This is Brady Matthews.
Brady Matthews, what's happening?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Sorry, I actually was just calling. Can you guys give me that mom's number? I'm trying to hang some stuff up here at the apartment.
Yeah.
You good with her?
You need an electric screwdriver? You need a hand?
I'll tell you what, she sounds like a wild good time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be honest with you, you know?
Brady, what is up, my friend? What is going on with you? Where you playing? What's going on? Projects? Get ready for football?
You out at the DNC right now?
DNC?
Yeah, talk about getting screwed.
How's it set up for you?
Yeah. No, I'm not. I mean, that stuff writes its own material. So, no, man, I just got back from L.A. I was at the Comedy Store doing spots, and then I was lived at the Laugh Factory. I was at the Improv. You know, I go back and see a bunch of old friends, old comedians. But no, I'm excited for Week 1 NFL, baby. I'm pumped. I can't wait. I was actually calling because I want to pick your brain on some bets.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because you said one thing actually, can we get out of the way? The Tua contract. What is the deal with that?
Well, Tua had some comments yesterday about Flores, who used to be the coach down there, and basically he just said Flores treated him really bad, wasn't cool with him, beat him up verbally all the time, and then just talked about, obviously, McDaniel now is the new coach who treats him, great, and obviously, really is a big fan of his. Flores didn't want Tua from the beginning. He wanted Herbert, where a lot of experts would have went with that too, but it was the way he handled it. But like I said earlier in the show, it wasn't Tua who made the pick. It was Stephen Ross. And there again, lies where if your owner or boss tells you to do something, you got to go along with it, and you can't blame him. Now, he is old school, and people have said, well, that's the way, like maybe he thought he would motivate the kid and make him be better, but that didn't work with Tua, obviously. Tua's lucky he's gone because look what happened. He's had a good year, and now he signed a $250 million contract. I don't think it makes Flores looks good, obviously. It doesn't make the Dolphins look good in my mind, what was going on that time. This is a first-round pick that you were banking on your future with. But, yeah, he just talked about that he wasn't treated right and verbally abused.
What do you think that can do to a quarterback? Can that really mess him up in the long run? I mean, it's got to, right? It's like his psyche?
Well, Tua said himself, if you don't mind me answering that one, Greek, Tua said himself it took 2 years to get it out of his mind, to retrain his brain that he wasn't as bad as Flores was telling him. That was part of the statement that he made, and it included other players, too. It wasn't just him. I mean, 2 years. It takes a while.
The only way you get over that, or you just don't agree with it, or just say, I'm not going to pay attention, is if you have a fantastic year. So, say the Dolphins won everything and went to the playoffs and they're great and he threw 40 touchdowns, then he would look at him and go, what the hell are you talking about? But, he had an okay year that first year with, obviously, Flores. And then the next year he had some injuries. But, yeah, he said it definitely affected him because, again, whether it's your boss or your coach, you want acknowledgement. We all do. We all like hearing good job. If you hear every day, you suck, you suck, you suck, you're going to look at it after a while and say, what am I doing?
Yeah. The one thing I wanted to kick off too is that the Thursday, September 5th, the Ravens and Chiefs. I'm excited for this because I don't know, are the Ravens turning the corner on this, Greek, or is this? Do you think the Chiefs have got this at -3?
I would take the Ravens. I think the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl again. Yeah, but I would take the Ravens. The Ravens always play great during the season. They're fantastic in September. They got Henry. They've been waiting this game for 5 months. I do think the Chiefs win it all, but if you're asking me opening night, I would take the Ravens and the points. And then when the Eagles play on Friday against the Packers, I would bet the over there. And then there's a couple other games on Sunday I would go with. But I would definitely bet Friday's over, and I would bet the Ravens on Thursday night.
Okay, that's good to know. I'm writing this down as we speak. And also, you don't like my Bears to win. And also, I'm segueing into this. You don't like my Bears to beat the Titans Week 1.
Well, the Bears, there's a trend that when the number one pick is the starting quarterback, he's like 2-17 opening day. Now, so far, Williamson has done great. They're on Hard Knocks. I know you're jacked up. You're a big Bear fan. You and Krista Riley, who used to work with us, the two biggest Bear fans I know. And my boss, Mark, is a big Bear fan too, which you met.
Mark.
Yeah. So, the Hard Knocks things is cool. I think it's putting more pressure on him. I think when they start saying for Williamson, like, he's going to be the next big thing to Michael Jordan, when you compare him to an icon in a different sport, I don't think that's great because I think he's going to be good.
Yeah.
He'll be good, but to put him at Michael Jordan status, I mean, wow, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, also no pressure there at all.
No pressure.
Also, Caleb Williams looked amazing, but I understand that he did go against the third string for Cincinnati. And I got beat up on TikTok. I think Jimmy saw it. I got beat up on TikTok. Guys were coming after me, and they're like, you don't know anything about sports. He's played against third string guys. And I'm like, you know what? No, I do know things about sports because we've been getting killed for the past 20 years. So, yeah, it's nice to see a quarterback that actually can throw off his foot. It's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's good. I think again, I loved him at USC. I think he's going to be a good quarterback. How quick he handles the process and how quick that can turn into wins, we'll see. But again, it's, the regular season is going to be different, a lot more faster, a lot more schemes, a lot of different defenses. They got the players on offense. They got Swift. They picked up Allen. They got Moore. They got a very good offense. It's defensively, and how can he adjust? And he's one of those guys, too, like Mahomes. He improvises when he's on the run and he's doing stuff like that. He seems like he's very good. I've watched him for a few years. I think the Bears are going to be a lot better. Are they going to win the division? I don't know about that, but I think they'll be a lot better.
Do you think they're a nine-game team win? Do you think they win 9 games?
It's going to be close. I would say it's right there. I don't have their schedule in front of me, the Bears, but it's going to be close. Yeah.
We have the third easiest schedule in the NFL this year.
Well, then if you got the third easiest and the over-under is 9, I would take the over.
Okay. I like that. Okay.
I mean, then I would take 10. So what have you been doing? Have you been out and about in South Florida? When have you been back? Since when? Last week?
Yeah, we've been back. We went to this new we kicked off for Make Vegas Pay that I'm working with, and also my show, The Mouthpiece, that we went to this new club. Have you been to Bounce?
No, where's that at?
Bounce is in, I believe, Boca, and it's a brand new sports sort of nightclub. And we watched the Adesanya fight there on Saturday night, and it was great. By the way, what did you think of that fight? Duplessis and Adesanya, did you like it? What did you think?
I'm not a big UFC guy. I did watch a little of it. I know Dan and White talked a couple weeks ago that I know McGregor's not coming back for this year, but I know you and your boys are big into the UFC.
Yep. Yeah, listen, here's the thing about McGregor. I'd love to see him come back, but at this point, what do you need to come back for?
No, the money.
For what? You know what I mean? Of course.
That's it.
He has the money. Yeah.
When you have money, though, you always want more. You know that. If somebody offers you so much money, there's a price for everybody where you just can't say no. And he is the face of UFC in a lot of ways. Yes, he hasn't done anything in a couple of years, but people think of him right away. And he's one of those guys. He's got an unbelievable personality. People love him.
And for some reason, just the bad stuff seems to roll off his back. I mean, if you think about some of the things that he's done that have been horrible, that incident with the bus, the old man at the pub in Ireland, he got a lot of bad, and it just seems to roll right off him. It doesn't stick for very long. So he is able to come back, and whether or not he can do anything in the ring, I don't know. But there's a good valid point there to say, hey, if you're paying him enough money, he's going to do it.
Yeah, there's no. What do you think about Tyson and Jake Paul? You think they're going to fight now?
I mean, honestly, it's like Jake Paul said. New York was good 20 years ago, just like Mike Tyson, and I thought that was hysterical. Because I mean, I don't know. I don't want to really see like Oscar De La Hoya said. Seeing Mike Tyson in there, he could get legit hurt after 3 rounds.
De La Hoya, I don't know if you follow him on social media. He puts up some crazy. Did you see that video he had up the other night? Him and his wife dancing.
Yeah, I did. I watched it a couple times.
Oh my God! I mean, she's got a bikini. He's got a bikini. She's got a bikini on, and he looks like he's almost naked, and they're dancing around the house. And I'm thinking, like, what are you doing?
That sounds terrible. Forward that to me.
By the way, he's usually back in the day would wear lingerie, and then they got pictures taken of him. You guys knew that.
Yeah, that was years ago. Yeah, I just thought it was a crazy video he put up of him and his girl.
Of course.
Bopping around. I like De La Hoya. He was a great fighter.
Yeah.
Obviously, Golden Gloves and, gold medalist, won so many titles, was around. He's a great promoter now. Him and his whole group is one of the best ever. But he seems every once in a while to go off the rails a little.
Yeah.
To me.
I haven't talked to you guys since the whole Olympics thing. What did you think of the whole boxing situation? What did you think of that?
I see both sides, obviously, in today's environment. But I think that now they're gonna take away. Jimmy, I think you said it, right? There's going to be no boxing in the 28 in the Olympics?
They should take away boxing. Especially in L.A. No boxing, and then also the breakdancing debacle. No breakdancing.
Yeah, the breaking they got rid of.
Yeah, how come you weren't in that? Did you have a chance to do the breakdancing out of Fort Lauderdale?
Listen, I submitted. I submitted, and I didn't roll around on the ground fast enough. That's the problem.
Yeah, you should be used to that in your life.
Yeah, that's right. Ray Gun beat me to it. With a name like that, how do you beat that?
So what is going on for the fall? You're going to be on the road. What do we know? We're talking to Brady Matthews right now, good buddy of mine who we reconnected in Vegas and pops into the show every once in a while. Today he's calling in. Last few times he stopped in the studio. When are you going back out?
Yeah, I'll be in New York beginning of this month, and I'll be doing Gotham, and then I'll be doing a couple clubs in Cleveland, some newer clubs, and then I'll be in LA.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Bring your toothbrush. It's got to be cold up there. And what about down here?
Toothbrush?
Where can the people down here see anything popping up in Florida yet?
Yeah, there's a company, or not a company, but the place I work for, they're called Don't Tell Comedy, and so we do it. You haven't come to one, by the way, Greg. You still haven't been to one show yet, but that's okay. We're holding you to it.
I'll be there. The schedules hasn't aligned yet. I brought you on the show a couple times. I'm going to come see you. I'm going to have a sign say, "Will you marry me?"
You're welcome, Brady.
What else you want?
Aren't you glad you called?
Listen, I get more interaction from Jimmy on TikTok than I get from Greek. You know what I mean? So
I don't respond to anybody on social media, so don't get offended. I'm on Instagram through the company, obviously.
That and I might have a crush on you.
Yeah. That's nice.
I was just about to say that. Unless he screws it up and he brings two of them to dinner.
So what is going on with the ladies in your life at this present time? Anybody? You got a first team? Who's the starting quarterback?
No. I have a good roster, if you will, right now. I'm hanging out with a couple different women, and
nice.
We're not tied down to anything right now. We're focused on going on the road and telling jokes and making them funny is what we're doing right now.
Do you date while you're on the road, or do they go with you? Or I find it very difficult to have a relationship while you're going all over the country.
No, we've done that.
Yeah.
And honestly, you don't want to, as they say, F where you eat. So you want to, keep it even keel. When I was younger, 100%. I was burning all the bridges. But going.
Light it up.
Yeah, Greek. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, you walk in a room, fish stop swimming. You're a little dangerous. So
I'll tell you what, dude. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, which is a good thing for you. Obviously. You'll go up to a girl in Vegas and ask her for money and want to get paid for sex, which is nice. It's a nice approach. Sometimes it works.
You said it, not me. But I'll be at Dania Beach Improv in a couple weeks as well. So people check out Brady Matthews Comedy and check it out. Yeah, if they want to come out and see some comedy, we're doing it, baby.
Dania Beach, how far is that from us? Would you say from Boca area?
It's like not too far. Oh, from you guys, about 45 minutes. A little far.
Well, 44 is my limit. If it was 44, I would be there. I'm going to come see you, bro. I'm definitely going to come see you because I think your career is on the upswing and you'll be rocking and rolling, doing a lot more. In football season, we'll definitely get together and we'll hang out, bet some games. Who's your favorite NFL team? Besides the Bears, anybody else you like?
I really like what the New England Patriots are doing. I like Milton and I like Drake May. So I think they're going to have a quarterback controversy on their hands. Drake May looks like he's starting to figure it out, and Milton, the guy just looks like he looks like Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams put together. I don't know. I really like all of them. I think the quarterbacks, all of them, Bo Nix. I think it's going to be an exciting season. I really do.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be different. Obviously, the NFL is different this year with that new rule in the kickoff. College is different because you got a 12 team playoff, which is going to be very different. A lot of games in November are going to really matter now. People will be jockeying positions. So, and it's going to be weird with Alabama. You don't see Saban on the sidelines, or New England with Belichick.
Yeah, they're saying Lane Kiffin might be the best head coach besides, who's the other guy? Kirby? Is it Kirby?
Yeah, for Georgia.
Yeah, but they're saying Kirby. But they're saying Lane Kiffin might be the best head coach in the NFL or in NCAA right now.
Well, he's got Mississippi. I mean, he bounces around a lot. He really did. Was down here at FAU, USC, Tennessee. I know he's still getting paid from a lot of them. And, he's made a nice program in Mississippi, and they're supposed to be good this year. I know they're in the top 10, and he's always got something going on, Kiffin. He's very creative, obviously, and I like him. I mean, some people don't, but he's out there. He definitely is.
I like him. I like what he's doing there at Ole Miss, and Ole Miss seems they've won. They've won their conference the past 2 years?
I believe so.
Never done that.
Yeah. No, They definitely are on the upswing. He's a great coach, and he's a good offensive mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm jacked up for college football, which starts this Saturday.
I am too.
Yeah.
I am too. What's your take, real quick, on the Manning kid from Texas? Have you seen anything about him? Have you heard anything about him?
I mean, he's going to probably get playing time this year. He didn't last year, obviously. I think he's second behind the starter. So he'll see something, and when he gets in there, it depends how he rock and rolls and how he does. But, I mean, obviously he's a man. He's got talent, and everybody's going to be on him. I don't know if it's better to make him wait in a way. It's better to get more experience and more being comfortable in the college game from high school, second year, or to put him out there. But if you put him out there, I mean, the whole world's going to watch him, and they're going to expect Manning numbers. And if he doesn't do that, it's going to be tough on him.
Okay, last question for you I have. Tom Brady. There is rumors. I haven't looked it up. A couple of different sources. Tom Brady is actually thinking of coming back again. Have you heard these rumors?
Yeah. We talked about it. He said it the other day.
It never ends.
No, he said it. He goes, I might give the young Bucks a run for it. He don't want to retire. I mean, if I was up to Brady, I think he'd be playing till 70, and he'd be banging supermodels. He just did it. I mean, at this point now, Giselle and him are done. She's getting remarried, supposedly. And he's just banging around. But he is trying to close the deal where he owns 10% of the Raiders, and that'll be in early October. And if he wants to come back, once he becomes an owner, from what I understand, all 32 teams have to okay him to play. And I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see it.
I mean, I can see him going to the Vikings, but why would he want to go? It's a dome. He could go play for the Vikings. They don't really have a quarterback. J.J. McCarthy's out for the season, and then they have Sam Darnold, and he's garbage.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple teams, but the Vikings are in a tough division. We're talking to Brady Matthews right now, a good friend of the show, comedian on the road a lot of times and does a lot of different things. But, I mean, you got the Packers and you got the Lions, who some people say either one of them may sneak into the Super Bowl. So it's going to be tough for him there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'd like to see him come back. I think it'd be, just another great storyline for NFL, because I think this season's going to be really exciting. I really do. And if Kansas City wins a third Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, who was the last team that did that? Was it Dallas?
Nobody?
I think it was Dallas, right?
Nobody did it.
Nobody's ever done it. Not 3 in a row.
No, people have won 2 in a row, I think 8 or 9 times, and then Dallas won 2, lost, didn't get back there, and then the following year won. The Dolphins went to 3 Super Bowls in a row, but won 2 in the early 70s. Buffalo went to 4 in a row, but lost them all. But nobody's won 3 in a row in the modern Super Bowl era. And when you hear that, that means from like 67 on, the first Super Bowl was the Packers and Chiefs. From that time, that's like the line in the sand for a lot of people is for the NFL, and nobody's done 3 times in a row. And it's very hard.
Well, okay. You guys should do a poll. What's the worst thing that could ever happen? Go to 4 Super Bowls and lose all 4?
Yes.
And then something else.
Jimmy's a Buffalo
No,
fan.
yes. No, you just stop right there. Yes, because it sucks. 10, not even 10 feet, 3 feet. 3 feet to the left, and at least there'd be 1.
Yeah. Would you rather go to 4 or never go to 1 at all? And lose all 4 and never go to 1?
That's torture. That's absolute torture. Someone should have dated Taylor Swift, and they would have won one for sure.
You're right.
It seems to work.
Not wrong.
Is there any truth to you bringing Taylor Swift out October 18th at the Hard Rock? Brady Matthews, give it up for Taylor Swift.
Any word that Taylor Swift might bring you out on the stage?
Oh, God.
Listen, my career would be doing a lot better right now if I were a part of that. Listen, even if I was dating her assistant, my career would be doing a lot better. So, we're working on it.
Brady, you're the best. Thanks for your time. You're always welcome to come up into the studio. I know you're south today, and we discussed it. And you said, hey, I might call in. I said, okay, you're welcome to call in. But we appreciate it. We'll get a cigar soon and get ready for the NFL, baby.
I look forward to it. I can't wait. Jimmy, you take care, and I'll talk to you boys soon.
Brady, take care, buddy. Good to hear from you.
Brady Matthews, everybody. Good friend of the show, comedian. He's all over the place. You can follow him on social media.
Yeah, find him on Instagram because he posts a lot there and on TikTok if you're a fan of TikTok. So you can find him, Brady Matthews.
Good guy. Good guy.
Yeah, funny dude, too.
Yeah, really nice. I bung out with him for years in Vegas, and we just banged into each other in Fort Lauderdale. And the next thing you know, we were friends. It was easy. And that's the way friendship should be. And, he's a good guy, and I do miss him. Tried to get him in studio today, but didn't have the gas money to give him. So I don't call in. I mean, come on. We can't do it all.
Yeah.
It's like wanting blueberries and you get oranges.
At least he called collect. So,
yeah,
we could pick that up.
When have you heard the last time your collect call?
When do you need to?
It's crazy. It is the Penthouse. We'll come back. We'll talk also about our giveaway. Isn't it on Instagram today, correct?
It is on Instagram. It's just the Tip Tuesday Instagram post. So this is how you can win a pair of tickets to see Megadeth this weekend with Mudvayne and All That Remains. So go to Instagram, search for Real Radio 921. Now, you should be following us anyway. And I put a post up earlier that it's a little poster there of the Megadeth show that's coming up at I Think Financial Amphitheater. So all you got to do is like that post, share it with a friend, add the hashtag Real Radio 921, and you'll be entered to win. Leave a comment, too, because we want to hear about how much you want to go see the show and, kiss Greek's butt a little bit. And we'll choose a winner tomorrow morning by 10 a.m., and we'll let you know via a direct message that you are the winner of a pair of tickets to see Megadeth. And it's the Destroy All Enemies World Tour with special guest Mudvayne and All That Remains. And that's this Saturday at I Think Financial Amphitheater.
It is the Penthouse on a Tuesday. We'll be back with a trifecta and so much more. Peace.
Real Radio is the news junkie.
When C-Lane said aneurysm, I've seen a couple of videos
of people having aneurysms.
Yeah. There was one where I'll try to see if I can find this. He was just like walking into the lobby of a building.
Click favorites.
Mm-hmm.
The News Junkie, weekday afternoons at 3 on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Here's traffic on Real Radio.
Watch for an accident at Boca Del Mar Drive at Palmetto Park Road, an earlier crash Okeechobee Boulevard at Skis Road. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line. Pound 250, keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Ron Hurst.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. At Lowe's, save big every day when you buy in bulk. Save 10% when you buy one pallet or more of select shingles, because Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location, while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
Hey, it's the Greek for Jason Weiser, my attorney. Whether you were injured due to a car accident or a medical malpractice issue, a slip and fall, or any kind of injury due to a fault of another, their team can help you. Board-certified personal injury attorneys. They can help you determine the responsibility party and pursue the damages and justice you deserve. Contact them at 561-689-8180, 561-689-8180. No fees unless they win. Jason Weiser, my attorney for over 20 years.
Should I be supporting my brain health?
There's a way to support your overall brain health, including memory, and it's called Nariva. Nariva Brain Health supplements have clinically tested ingredients that can support up to 7 indicators of brain health, including memory. Look for Nariva at Walmart today and feel the difference. Also try Nariva Ultra with clinically tested cognitive and feel mentally alert. Available at Walmart. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Got a car to sell? Hey, it's Franny, and whether it's your daily driver, classic muscle car, or even a whole collection, GimmeTheVin.com wants it. Skip the hassle of dealerships and lowball offers. At GimmeTheVin.com, just enter your VIN or license plate and get a top dollar offer in minutes. They'll even beat a CarMax offer or pay you $100. Plus, you can visit one of their locations or have them come to you. Sell your car the easy way with America's best car buyer, GimmeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
When the going gets tough, the tough get StormSmart. Since 1996, StormSmart has simplified the process of protecting your home while increasing its living space and beauty. Because smart is easy. Call 866-61-SMART today for your free in-home consultation.
Bush Loaded, the greatest hits tour. Friday, August 30th, Hard Rock Live. With special guests, Jerry Cantrell and Candlebox. Tickets on sale now at myhrl.com or Ticketmaster.com. Bush Loaded, the greatest hits tour. Seminole Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Hollywood.
High five. Up top. Heck yeah.
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years.
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep. Dave's feeling it, but it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings. Powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo!
Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
If you're the victim of a car crash, never rush to settle with the insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anna Jar Levine. Call 1-800-747-FREE for a free consultation and take back control of your life.
In office, West Palm Beach.
You hear more and more about identity theft in the news every day. That's because so much of your personal info is out of your control, like your insurance provider that has your social security number and your favorite retailer that has your payment details. If they get breached, your information's vulnerable. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code PLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
As fall approaches, you have a lot to prepare for. Back to school, sporting events, family gatherings, and staying on top of your health. The virus that causes COVID-19 continues to evolve. So this fall, no matter what you're prepping for, you can prioritize your family's health and make a game plan for COVID-19 vaccination. Ask your doctor or pharmacist to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes.
Yep.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family. Together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
Point!
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace!
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, motorcycle, commercial auto, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at Progressive.com.
For more information about contests on this station, visit realradio921.com/rules.
Sarah Spain with iHeart Women's Sports, presented by Capital One. The NWSL regular season doesn't start back up till Friday, but there's still news being made. It was announced Monday that Racing Louisville had traded captain Jalen Howell and $50,000 in allocation money to the Seattle Reign in exchange for forward Bethany Balser. Balser gives Racing the scoring help they need. She currently has 5 goals for the season and the third most goals in the NWSL since 2019. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcast.
With the Venture Card from Capital One, you earn unlimited 2x miles on every purchase. Plus, earn unlimited 5x miles on hotels and rental cars booked through Capital One Travel. Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
iHeart's Yacht Rock Radio goes commercial-free every weekend. Enjoy the greatest 70s and 80s smooth soft rock all weekend, all commercial-free. High tide, low tide, no tide. Yacht Rock Radio works anywhere. Open the free iHeart app, search Yacht Rock, and start listening. iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
Greek's Trifecta is sponsored by Mo Better Garage. Mo Better Garage. We make it way Mo Better. MoBetterGarage.com.
Real Radio 92.1. We are an iHeart radio station. Listening to the Penthouse. Now back to the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
It is the Penthouse on a Tuesday. Thanks for always tuning in. Don't forget keywords. You're going to get another one at 1 o'clock. Got one at 9. Your chance to go to Vegas and enjoy a great time on iHeart and get $1,000. Frances is out today. She'll be back with us tomorrow, hopefully. Jimmy's in the house.
Hello and good morning.
And now it is time for a Greek's Trifecta.
Riders up. It's Greek's Trifecta.
All right, Tom Brady's getting ready because he's going to be doing some announcing on Fox. And his first game is going to be Cleveland and Dallas. Buddy, you already let out a list of things that he thinks are going on in the NFL. He's talked about in his 3 best quarterbacks right now. He says Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. No really surprise in that take. That's because I think if you ask a lot of people and guys who follow sports, men or women who are experts, who get in there with the NFL, will probably say the same 3. But that's what he said. Those are his 3. Patrick Mahomes, Justin Allen, and Lamar Jackson. Now, if you didn't see Mahomes over the weekend, check it out. You could download it or put it on social media. Go for it. And just ask Google for Mahomes behind the back pass to Kelsey the other day. It was unbelievable. Jimmy, did you see that Saturday?
No, I did not.
Yeah, unbelievable. He threw the ball behind his back and right to Kelsey. It was like, short pass, but still like, oh, my God, what else can he do? It's just crazy. Yankees are taking on Cleveland tonight, and they are home. Cleveland and the Yankees both in first place in their divisions. The Yankees and Philadelphia have the second best records in baseball. Dodgers have 74, so we'll see what happens there. It's going to be interesting. It definitely is going to be interesting. We talked about Tua this morning where he had some comments about Flores, his old coach, and he said he just treated me terrible, beat me up every day verbally, didn't believe in me. And the difference now with McDaniel is that McDaniel is all Team Tua, and he loves him. And he says the encouragement makes a difference. And it must have because the Dolphins believe in him. And also Stephen Ross wanted to draft him. And Stephen Ross is paying him $250 million. So it all worked out at the end for the Dolphins and for Tua. Hopefully they have a good year. They have one last preseason game. That'll be this week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And that is your Greek's Trifecta. Peace.
Well, here's a subject that you can interpret. It doesn't come into a lot with sports here, but we can incorporate sports into it. And that is if someone woke up from the 1980s or the 1990s, what would be one of the most surprising things that they would notice about 2024? And there's a good example right there. You know, the way football is nowadays, where it's such a passing game. Yep. I mean, rules always change with different sports, but I think the way the guys play today compared to then would be quite significantly different. Even though we were seeing some signs of it between like Marino and Elway and Jim Kelly. turning the game into a passing league even back then, but it wasn't quite there yet. It was still very dominated by the run, but that's just one idea. And here's a bunch of other examples of things that people like, what would jump right out to you if you were all of a sudden you woke up. The last time you saw it was 1982, and now it's 2024. What are some of the biggest things that would jump out of you? One person, and we'll get into this too because we've got another article on Michael Keaton, but the fact that Michael Keaton is still playing Batman, or Harrison Ford is still playing Indiana Jones, or AC/DC is still touring, and the Toronto Maple Leafs still suck.
Oh my
that wasn't
God.
me. That was what was written. This was a thread that somebody started. What if somebody woke up from the 1980s and what would surprise them seeing now? Breakdancing in the Olympics.
Yeah,
another
that would be
person
surprise-
wrote.
Yeah, that'd be a surprise.
And they might expect it because, obviously in the 80s, breakdancing was pretty popular. That the guy on their Wheaties box is now identifying as a woman. I think that might be a little different, huh?
I would say if you were in the 80s and you woke up now, you would also be surprised Trump was president and running again.
That was on there too. They called it, the fact that a reality TV star had become president. The only thing with that is if you think back to the 80s and 90s, a lot of people were looking to Trump to be president. He was on Oprah, and she constantly asked him about whether he would ever run for president. So, he was even a thought. David Letterman had him on a couple of times. And again, the whole premise of it, would you ever consider running for president? Because as a businessman, he was thought of, back then.
Very good.
And so I don't know. I'm not quite sure if that one would surprise people or not. You could, when you look at him from being a reality TV star, okay, that. Keith Richards has outlived Whitney Houston, George Michael, and Michael Jackson.
That's a surprise.
I don't think anybody saw that one coming.
No, I would have took that bet. You ain't kidding me. Wow, that's another one. Keith Richards being alive is just it. That in itself, if you ask somebody in 1980 in 2024, oh my God, let alone outliving those three.
Now, I'm sure that you could imagine a lot of technical things would be on here, or tech things like streaming services, Netflix, having full access to so many movies and TV shows in one place without needing to rent anything from a video store. That would be kind of amazing to people from back then. People paying real money for virtual clothes and property in something called the metaverse, or like games.
Yeah.
What was the one from... Force Night. What was that show? That game. Your stepson was really into that.
Fortnite.
Fortnite, yeah, right.
Yeah,
so you can buy like clothes for them on there, things like that. How about this? The fact that malls are almost empty. Everyone shops online now.
It's crazy.
That's something
Big
that I think
surprise.
a lot of people would be surprised to see if they woke up from 1980. You can get a pizza delivered to your house by a robot or a drone. We finally have electric cars, but flying cars are still a fantasy. Although we're seeing that to some extent, but we can't get any traction on that.
Sports betting, that is legal in 36 states.
Yep.
In the 80s, it was only one. It was Vegas. And there was or 90s, no talk about it ever becoming legal. And New Jersey was the first one, obviously.
I think you could say even 10 years ago, that would have been still surprising to a lot of people. But it's a very good point, especially from the 1980s. Somebody waking up and going, you can bet on sports online, on your phone, on a device in your hand. The fact that nobody smokes on airplanes anymore and people actually obey the fasten seatbelt sign.
Yep, I agree with that.
Concert tickets being so expensive that only rich people can afford good seats. I would agree with that, too. We were talking about that earlier. Let's see. Video games look incredibly realistic, and people can play with others around the world in real time. I think that would be quite surprising. Back in the 80s and 90s, you had like Atari, and that was the big one, Duck Hunt. People can summon a ride with their phone through apps using Uber or Lyft. No more calling for a cab. The idea of working from home is very common.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
I would never say
I think that would have surprised a lot of people back then.
Yeah, you're right. 100%. Years ago when you worked at home, meant you were a slacker.
Artificial intelligence and smart home devices like Alexa and Google Home have entered daily life, helping with things like playing music or even controlling the lights in your house. And finally, tattoos, once considered rebellious, are now mainstream and seen as a form of self-expression. You can't get away from it. They're everywhere now.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Just a couple of things. What is something that is that you think would be very surprising to somebody if they woke up in 2024 from the 80s or the 90s? 47142 is the text line to start off that text with Real Radio.
I mean, it's not there yet, but just how much society, is becoming more and more cashless. Would be a surprise for people.
Yep.
That, and the debit cards and stuff like that we didn't have then years ago. If you're going back to the 80s.
Sure.
You weren't able to use a debit card.
I remember when they were called ATMs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or not Mac machines. That was it.
Yep.
Mac machines. Money Access Center. Those were the first ones that I knew of in New Jersey before I moved down here. And somebody said, I'd ask for you, where's a Mac machine? What's a Mac machine? I had no idea. I guess that was a regional thing at the time.
Yeah, I think if somebody said you would never find a payphone on the street from the 80s.
Yeah, just to sell the whole cell phone aspect and the fact that there are, very many payphones left.
There's none. I mean, there's just a few. There's one that we said a couple. We talked about it, but just not even seeing them. Where years ago you couldn't go 10 feet without finding a payphone. They were all over the place. I think that would be a little bit shocking for people that they'd be like, wow, no cell phones anywhere? I mean, no payphones anywhere? Or when people see them on TV shows, they're like, what the hell was that? And you go, no, that's a payphone. People are like, what the hell is that? So I think that's one of those crazy things, too. 877-927-6969. That is the number to call if you guys want to get involved with the show. Also, you can bring up anything you want. Talk to Jimmy and I. We can talk some Dolphins and Tua. He had some crazy comments on the table right now. Is anything that maybe was in the 80s and 90s and you just woke up and you said, wow, this is really unbelievable that this is still going on. Keith Richards being alive, like I said, I think that's a big one right there, Jimmy. You hit that on the head. I think people...
Well, the fact that they outlived the others, I mean, because really, they all, passed away very young. Obviously, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
Taken way too soon.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, without a doubt. But people would be shocked. They'd be like, what the hell is going on with that? But there's so many things that have changed in our society over the years. Let us know. Give us a call. You could text us. Also, did you hear about comments Tua made about Flores? Were you surprised? Were you shocked? Do you think he did the right thing by saying that? Or should he have taken the high road and maybe just say, hey, there was a big difference, and I'm happy where I am today? Could have did that. But he chose to be like, you know what? It was just not a good situation.
Let's see. Does Miami play Minnesota this year?
Oh, God.
No, they don't.
Good thing. Oh, he'd be blitzing every down. I mean, there's two.
Now, so let me ask, do you think Flores makes a comment? Do you think he responds to that or no?
Flores, to me, was a very quiet guy, even when he was the head coach. I'd be surprised if he came back. I know he was suing the NFL. I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah,
remember that whole thing where Ross wanted him to throw games, and that sort of fizzled. Or he got paid on the arm. I don't know. But he seems to be one not in the media, even when he was a head coach. So I don't know. I if the question is, would I be surprised? Yes, I'd be surprised that he, gets into it and starts to talking about it, or if he just says, you know what, that was my coaching style. I was trying to get the best out of him, and I figured if I did that, it would, light a fire under his ass, something like that. I don't know, but I tend to think he doesn't respond. I really do.
I think it depends on where he goes. Like if he ends up on, the Pat McAfee show or something like that, and because that's the thing, if he responds, it's more than likely because he's going to be asked, right? So maybe in the local Minnesota sports stations, they might ask him to respond to it. And because of that, I think he will. Now, whether that gets put out to a national level, I don't know. That's because you never know.
Well, it would get put to national level if he had comments and he was asked, because then it's his response to Tua.
Right.
So then everybody would say, okay, this is what he's saying now.
And I only say that, I mean, he's got to be asked, right? I mean, somebody's going to ask him, what he thinks of it.
Yeah, I think more so now because he's in training camp and he's an assistant coach for defense. So I'm sure somebody's going to say to him, hey, coach, what did you think about Tua's comments? And again, he might say, you know what? Those are his comments. I don't know if he would go to the level of saying that's not true, because even to his comments, he said there's other players. So I don't know if he said stuff around Tua alone, one thing, but if Tua was with other people, I don't know if he's going to go there, is what I'm saying, because then he's going to look bad. Then people will be like, that's when other people jump in and say, hey, I heard him say this or whatever like that. So if he's asked, he's going to respond, obviously, but I think he's going to try to push it away.
Or do you think he even just says, you know what, I have no comment on that?
He could. He's a quiet guy.
He might. I could see that happening because to go right along with what you're saying there, he was quiet. He didn't really want to bring a lot of attention until, what was it, we going for the New England job? Was that it? That was the one he went for? Or no, what job was he going for? He's going for a head coaching position.
Yeah, he was going for a couple.
He says he allegedly was turned down.
Yeah, I think anytime you're a head coach in the NFL, especially the local market, you're going to get mic'd up. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to talk to you, obviously, as a head coach. Assistant coach, you could go through the season. Nobody really knows.
And that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, as a defensive coordinator, coach, I mean, he may be a little bit under the radar because you're not up there in front of a mic all the time.
Yeah, again, I think that old school coach, but I didn't think his practice was good, obviously. I don't think handling players like that is good. And that's one of the reasons why he's not in Miami anymore, because he didn't get along with Stephen Ross and Tua. And if I'm going to make you my quarterback or franchise face, I can't have the coach arguing with you. Somebody's going to go. And at the end of the day, you know what? It's just like Prescott this year with Dallas. If it's him or the coach, it's going to be the coach. Prescott's making $60 million. I got news for you. You know, it's not going to work out that way. So we'll see. But I think Tua signing his contract also gives him a little bit, like we said, more confidence and comfortable. I don't know if those comments were shocking to Stephen Ross. I'm not sure. But he was on a Levitar show, and Levitar started talking to him and said, how is it different? And to your point, he could have handled it different, and it wouldn't have been a story. Obviously. He could have just said, hey, you know what? Different times. He wasn't a fan of mine, but we're going forward right now, and it would have went away. What he said was just he was brutal, verbally abused me, told me I suck every day. Yeah. You shouldn't be here. You don't deserve to be here. That's tough things to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, every day when you walk in. So I tend to believe that Flores said it around other people too in the Dolphins. I don't think it was just two of him one-on-one. So I don't think that he's ever going to come back and say, hey, I never said that, or he took it out of content or different things like that. So it's not a great thing. I wouldn't be happy with it, obviously, as a coach. And, again, if they win this year and they do well, then it's good. You know what I mean? If they do bad, then it's not a good situation for Tua.
What do you think? What are the chances he turns around and goes, well, he did suck? Just pour more gas on the fire.
Oh, yeah.
I doubt it.
No, I don't think it. But you never know. Who knows? You get somebody in the wrong mood. He's like, I didn't like him. Yes, it's a tough one when it comes to draft picks because a lot of times the owners stay out of it and sometimes they don't. Stephen Ross didn't. Flores might feel like if we had Herbert, we would have won more games, and that hurts my career. So I don't know. It's one of those tough positions. But you also got to realize who you are in the totem pole.
It's true. And, of course, Tua was coming off the hip injury from Alabama, too. So there was a little bit of question mark. There's a lot of question marks about him being drafted at all. And there's still people that don't believe in Tua as far as being the future of the franchise as far as quarterback is concerned in Miami.
South Florida will be so unbelievable if they ever get out of the gate slow the first 2 weeks. I'm telling you, with that contract, he will not be able to go to Publix if they ever lose. People will just don't go after him. They really will. Yeah. In a way, I'm talking about their opinions, sports shows, blogs, if they ever start up. And they got 2 tough games. Yep. Jaguars are not an easy win. Nope. And then they got Buffalo 4 days later.
Mm-hmm.
So the pressure will be on. And when you make a lot of money, people come after you. That's just the way it is.
The only good thing that they got going for them after that is they got Seattle, Tennessee, and New England, and then a bye week. So the next 4 weeks are, and then even after that, they got the Colts, they got the Cardinals.
Yeah.
So, if they can squeak by, if they ever get if they even lose to Jacksonville but get a win against Buffalo, which is very plausible, because they usually split with them.
Yeah.
Then I think they're okay, right? 1-1.
Yeah.
And then they go into Seattle, they should win. Tennessee, they should win. They should, beat New England. So if that's the case, they're, 4-1.
But like we always say, looking at it, you don't know. You just don't know. On paper, it looks like that. Everybody does it.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only time, and I said this, that they're going to have problems, and it'd be a lot of pressure, is if they go 0-2. 1-1, hey, it's a division team, and the Jaguars are good, so I wouldn't be surprised. They go 2-0, then they could go on they're playing good. Then maybe they're 5-0.
And to your point, how many times did the Patriots win the Super Bowl, and then the next year they'd go 0-2,
or 0-1,
and it would be, Brady's done, he's washed up,
yeah,
and
they're
yada,
finished.
yada, yada.
Oh, you're everywhere. That's what the media does to the fans. They always gonna bitch. I mean, last year the Chiefs can't win a game on the road. Guess what? They won 3, and they won the Super Bowl. So I mean, that's just the media and creating some kind of drama and something out there, so people go, "Oh my God, you see that?" And a lot of it's yin and yang. That's what it's all about. It is the Greek. It is Jimmy. It is the Penthouse on a Tuesday. We're going to come back with some fun facts and a lot more. Peace.
What's a Real Radio podcast? It's Real Radio on demand. Find your favorite show at realradio921.com. Getting you up to speed on traffic on Real Radio.
Watch for an accident Boca Del Mar Drive at Palmetto Park Road, an earlier crash Okeechobee Boulevard at Skis Road. Spot something on the roads, call the traffic tip line. Pound 250, keyword West Palm traffic. I'm Ron Hersey.
This report is sponsored by Bank of America. Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A., copyright 2024.
Hey, it's the Greek from Monroe and Palm Beach, 7 days a week. That's where the beautiful ladies are. Open to 5 a.m. with a 5-star menu. And Sunday night is Midnight Madness. Every Sunday from 12 to 2. In the biz, 50% off drinks. Step right up, spin a wheel of madness, win amazing prizes. Sunday night at Monroe's. Get you ready for the week. Monroe's and Palm Beach. That's where all the sexy, beautiful ladies are. Peace!
Want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Owen. I'm a cigarette.
Do you like being a cigarette?
No, I don't. Not really into killing thousands of people. Sorry, no filter.
Right.
What's your sign?
Pisces?
I'm a Cancer. Cigarette joke. But seriously, I do cause cancer. And heart disease. And strokes. I could go on forever. Unlike the people who smoke me.
The average smoker lives 10 years less than non-smokers. Quit today. Find out how at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Looking to make the most money on the sale of your vehicle? GiveMeTheVin.com buys all makes and models from $2,000 to $200,000. They buy them all at GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Is there a sticker on your garage door? If something goes wrong and you need an expert to solve your problem, are you just going to call that number because the sticker told you to? I mean, isn't that something your husband would do? Better call these guys, honey. The sticker said so. Can't violate the International Sticker Code now, can I? What kind of self-respecting man in a house surrenders his independence to a ratty old scrap of paper with glue on the back? Of course, if you find a Mo Better Garage sticker on it, you might want to listen to your husband just this once. Because all garage door stickers are not created equal. No matter who installed your garage door, you can call us to repair it. Our technicians are expertly trained on the widest range of equipment with the experience to solve any problem. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. After we fix it, we'll put our sticker on it. So your husband has someone to call.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Hurricane season is here. Is your home ready to handle strong winds and heavy rain? Don't stress. Expert Shutter Services is here to help. The largest storm shutter manufacturers on the Treasure Coast, Expert Shutter Services offers top-notch protection with Cat 5 rated Ultra Shield hurricane screens and Nautilus rolling shutters. Call Expert Shutter Services now for a free in-home consult at 772-871-1915. That's 772-871-1915. Expert Shutter Services. We're taking the shutter industry by storm.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace,
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Here's what's happening with the weather on Real Radio.
From the Gordon and Partners Weather Center, have you been injured in a motor vehicle accident? Call 561-333-3333 or go to fortheinjured.com.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. It's a hot and humid one out there for us on this Tuesday. Temperatures in the low to mid-90s as we move through the afternoon. Feel though like the triple digits, so be sure to stay hydrated out there. Some scattered thunderstorms are going to move across the area as well, mostly starting inland and pushing northeast towards the coastline with heavy downpours and this threat. Otherwise, we remain partly cloudy for the rest of the day.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Looking for a career you'll love with flexibility, great pay, and benefits, and one of the country's top workplaces? Join their growing team. Go to progressive.com/careers and apply online today. That's progressive.com/careers.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
From the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios.
Have you been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good. You're listening to The Penthouse. Now back to The Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
It is The Penthouse on a Tuesday. I hope you guys are having a good day. Thanks for always tuning in. And I hope you kicked off your day with Rover in the morning and then jumped on to us. Francis is out today. Hopefully she's back with us tomorrow. Jimmy's in the house.
Hello and good afternoon.
And Jimmy will pick up the slack and do some fun facts.
It's Freddy's Fun Facts.
Well, as you heard earlier in the show, today is National Radio Day, so let's do some fun facts about radio. Just a couple here. The very first true radio transmission of voice was made by Guglielmo Marconi in 1895. The first commercial radio advertisement was broadcast in 1922. And of course, that was new technology back then, and people were just beginning to use it. A company called Queensboro Corporation wanted to try a new way of advertising their products to people. So they broadcast an advertisement on the radio, and it was the first commercial ever to be heard on the radio. Radio waves travel at the speed of light. Just like sound waves, radio waves travel through the air and can be sent from one place to another. But unlike sound waves, radio waves could travel much faster. They travel at the speed of light, which is about 186,000 miles per second. Over 2,000 different languages are broadcast on the radio throughout the world. 2001 if you include Greek.
I knew that was coming. I said that. I said, here we go.
The first FM radio station began broadcasting in 1940. This new type of technology allowed for higher quality audio. By the way, if you never knew, AM stands for amplitude modulation, and FM stands for frequency modulation. The word broadcasting comes from farming, believe it or not. It had nothing to do with radio because it was way before then. The word broadcasting goes back to the 18th century with it was an agricultural term that means wide scattering of seeds. And the word didn't become a term related to radio until the 20th century, of course, when the first radio broadcasts were created. Talk about a powerful stick. WLW is the most powerful radio station in history, literally.
How big was their wattage?
This was in Cincinnati.
Okay.
This is a WLW. And when we're talking about power, like Greek just mentioned, about wattage, this was in the 1930s.
Oh,
It was
wow.
a 500,000 watt stick.
Wow. In the 30s.
Yep.
It's
back,
crazy.
Back in 1930, before they regulated it.
Yeah,
Of course,
yeah.
we're at 100,000 now is the highest power that you can have. Think getting songs stuck in your head was bad? Try having a song stuck in your furniture. Because that power, that wattage was so high, you could actually hear things transmitted through like pots and pans and mattresses, because metal would pick it up.
Really?
And you could hear things through that. It almost acts as like an antenna. Anything metal would act like an antenna if you were close to it.
So you're cooking like a steak, and all of a sudden you hear the radio on.
Pots and pans.
Yeah.
You could hear the weight, the whatever was being transmitted through things like that. WLW is actually still around today and is owned by iHeartRadio. And finally, talking about the antennas, the Eiffel Tower is basically one big radio antenna. And there's some fun facts for you for Tuesday, August 20th.
Thank you, Jimmy. Great job. You guys want to get involved, you can give us a call at 877-927-6969. What is something that if you were in the 80s and you woke up today, we're like, oh, my God, I can't believe it. What is going on with that? You could tell us that. Also, we had some other things on board today. Chua had some comments about his old coach Flores. Are you shocked about him? Surprised about his comments that he even made him. Let us know about that.
One of the things I think I would have been surprised about if I was from the 1980s and woke up I thought we would have had flying cars by now. We kind of mentioned it a little bit there when they were talking about electric cars, but that was such a big thing back then, especially growing up on a cartoon, The Jetsons. I know that sounds silly, but a lot of us thought, well, one day we'll have flying cars. That's all about the future, right?
Yeah. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen. Even electric cars, I think, is so big. You know what I mean? If you thought about that in the 80s, if somebody said, hey, you're not going to need gas.
Yeah, they were just toying around with the idea back then in the 80s. I think Chevrolet had one that they were working on, the original Volt or something like that. Kind of dates back to that time frame. But, I mean, yeah, it wasn't until the 2000s that obviously Tesla started taking over.
Sure.
And then getting to the point where we are today.
I mean, even now, like one of the things with Uber and Lyft, but Uber more so, if you woke up, you'd be like, what the hell is this? A service for a car? What do you mean? You call somebody, even the delivery? I mean, you could get pizza delivered, like he said then, but still, Uber would be shocking, like for people that, you get in a car with a stranger.
Yeah.
I remember when I was a kid growing up, my dad taught us when you got into the cab, before you close the door, to look at the picture on the dashboard, because that would usually match the driver. And he always said, if it doesn't,
it should. If it didn't,
get out.
Right.
He used to tell us, get out.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying now, people obviously with Uber, they who the driver is and different things like that. But when it first started, if somebody said, hey, get in a car with a stranger, you would have been like, that's like hitchhiking. You'd be like, what are you, crazy?
But again, it's very similar to that with a taxi. I mean, with Uber, you've got the driver's name, you got a picture of the driver, you got a picture of their car. Yeah. You've got a lot more info right now that you can verify that the person is who they say they are. But I think it goes back to what you're stating in the fact of back then you didn't dare get into a car with a stranger at all. And nowadays, well, you're encouraged to.
That's right. I think the cab for me and a lot of people, it's different because that yellow cab was credibility.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like if you call for a ride to the airport or something, he pulls up.
And that's only places in this, like big cities like that. Yeah. I mean, the town that I grew up in, we didn't have a taxi. There's no, you had to get a bum a ride from a friend.
Yeah, and for me, growing up, if it was a taxi, it was a local taxi company. You know what I mean? There was no yellow cabs. Manhattan was where you had your cabs. But you might have a local one in your town.
Yeah.
Besides that, that was like, what you would have. Michael Jordan's been trying to sell his mansion in Chicago for years. You can go online and check it out. Michael Jordan Mansion's got a big 2-3 in the front, the gate. So he keeps reducing the prices. Now it's down to $15 million. One time it was like almost $40 million when he wanted to sell it. Again, does Michael Jordan have to sell it? No. He keeps slashing the prices, but the place is outrageous with the 2-3 and the gym and the pool. It is in Chicago. I'm surprised somebody hasn't scooped it up yet, but I think eventually somebody will pick it up. The gates are cool too when you pull in. You see that big 2 and 3. His number for years on the Bulls, and one of those things that I think is cool. I don't know if anybody will buy it. Maybe not at $16 million, but if he keeps reducing it, eventually he's going to get it. Eventually somebody's going to be like, all right, I'll take it. just for blanks and giggles because they want the money. Now, Michael Keaton had some comments about Batman, about Batgirl.
Now, you remember in 2022, Batgirl was supposed to come out that year. And, of course, at the last minute, Warner Brothers said, nope, we're not going to release it. I guess they were just not getting good reviews with it, so they decided not to. Well, apparently Michael Keaton had sat down and somebody asked him about that. And he kind of kept it real in a recent interview with GQ magazine. And he was asked if he was disappointed that Batgirl was scrapped. And his reaction was pretty honest. He said, quote, "No, I didn't care one way or another. It was big. It was fun. It was a nice paycheck." He got paid. So he didn't care. Talk about having some Greek in you. He did show some remorse through his about the directors, though. He didn't like the fact that they kind of got left out in the dark on that one. He said, "I like those guys. They're really nice. I pull for them. I want them to succeed." And I think they felt very badly that they made me, or that made me feel bad. So the fact that obviously their movie didn't get put out there, but as far as he was concerned, he goes, "Me, I'm good." Keaton played Batman again, like he did in The Flash, of course, for that movie. And Keaton says he's proud of his time as Batman and that Tim Burton deserves more credit for taking a chance on him, saying, quote, I have nothing but respect, and I am 100% grateful to him. I like to prove everybody wrong. It's fun for me. But yeah, he wasn't too worried about it. He got paid for it, so that's all he was worried about.
Cha-ching! Show me the money.
That's it.
877-927-6969. That's the number to call if you want to get involved in the Penthouse. We had some things on the table today. If you were in the 90s and you woke up today, what is the biggest difference? Also, Tua's comments with Flores saying that he was a terrible coach and just beat him up verbally all the time. Let us know. Zion Williamson is a NBA player. You might not be familiar with him, but he played for Duke, and he's on the New Orleans Pelicans. And he's had a little bit of a weight problem ever since that he came in the NBA. But, boy, has he lost a ton of weight and this offseason. And, man, he looks unbelievable. He keeps that weight off. I think he could be a big, big player in the NBA and really contribute to his team. But he's down to 281 pounds. At Duke, he weighed 285, but he's lost a lot of pounds, like 30, 40 pounds in the offseason. Whether or not he can keep it off, who knows? But that's a big difference for him. You can check him out and say, like, man, he lost a lot. And I almost didn't recognize him. That's when you see some of these guys or girls, you're like, wow, I can't even recognize the person. But, yeah, Zion Williams' apparent weight loss draws attention, and there's no doubt about it that it definitely does. 877-927-6969. That is the number to call if you want to get involved. You can also text us at Real Radio 47142.
Like this one we got in, it says something that would surprise me in the 80s happening today. A family of 5 girls can bang 90% of all NBA players today.
That's a good one.
There you go.
That's nice. We like
Second shot on the Kardashian family.
Yeah, we like that.
Another text that came in at 47142. They started off the text with Real Radio. Nick Cannon should be considered as a broadcaster. He's known for widely scattering his seed. Oh, okay.
Nice.
Right. Well, that's good. Good to know. Good
What a
idea.
Nick.
Good take on that.
I like to think about their Kardashians. I think that's pretty funny.
47142 is the text line. I started off that text with Real Radio. By the way, Jimmy at realradio921.com is wide open too, the email address. And we got this email in from our friend April Price from the Treasure Coast Waterway Cleanup Creek. She called in the other week because they had their event coming up.
Yes.
So we do have some 2024 results, and I'll just give the brief ones, but they got Martin County got 0.93 tons, St. Lucie County got 0.93 tons, and Indian River County, they were able to pick up 0.30 tons with a total of 2.16 tons, and 936 people were involved in the event, which is great. I'm really happy for it. It was slightly under, I think, 2.3 was the over-under bet that we had going for them. So just slightly under that, but that's still, you think about that.
That's fantastic.
A little over 2 tons of garbage picked up.
That's great.
So that's a great job by her and the rest of the crew that went out there. 936 people who were involved in it this year. So
that's massive.
Great job, April.
Yep, April, great job to you and your staff, no doubt about it. Way to keep those beaches a little bit cleaner for all of us. And remember, that garbage that you have, put it in the trash. Don't be a lazy you-know-what. It's very easy to walk over to a trash can and put it away.
Let's put April out of business so that she doesn't have to do this anymore, huh? Put your garbage away. Like, that's a great message, Greek. Want to take a phone call?
Sure.
We got our buddy Riggs checking in with us. Hey, Riggs, what's going on, pal?
What's up, guys? How's it going, Greek?
Going good, Riggs, buddy. How are you? Getting ready for football? Excited about that. How are you, my friend?
Super psyched about football, and I'm also coaching my son's team, flag football. We started that on Saturday. We have the first meet and greet.
Now, do you like coaching your son, and does your son like coaching you? Is it something you wanted to do, or something was asked, or just something that fell in your lap?
I was like an assistant coach last season, so I got the hang of it with this other guy James. So this is the first time I'm flying solo. We had a little friction with the boy when I was coaching. Like he felt like he didn't have to take that as seriously, but we had this time I just sat him down. I was like, look, it's a new experience for me, and I appreciate you helping me out and kind of supporting me in what I'm trying to do here. And he seems to understand it, but he's also 10 years old, so
that's cool.
He probably do want to remember it when time comes to do it, you know?
And you know what? It's so funny. One thing I hear with ball players and even my friends, when the father coaches, or even if it's a mom, they'll always say it 20, 30 years down the road, yeah, my dad used to coach me. And, you know, it is one of those things which I think is cool. It says a lot about you. Again, you've talked to us over the years. You're a good dad. Your wife is excellent with her kids, and that's a role that I respect so much, and it's nice that you end up doing it.
Yeah, we're blessed with kids, so might as well, if we're doing it, might as well do it right. The only thing with football is that I grew up with soccer, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't go to school with it. I don't know the basics. Like when I saw the other coach, you could tell that he was basically reliving his time as a player with the way he was coaching them. And then I was thinking about it, and I'm like, man, these are a bunch of 10 or 11-year-olds. Who cares? Let them do their thing.
Have fun.
I'll show them what I know, and then the rest of them, they got to figure it out.
Yeah, maybe you can make some money with this.
Parents.
Keep me posted. Maybe we can try to bet on it and see what happens.
I
know you would do England. So what do you think about your Bengals and Joe Burrow's new haircut? Are you excited about them?
I mean, we're always excited, right? But I don't want to jinx it either. There was some rumor, and I don't know if it's for real or not, that we may be getting that the receiver from Dallas.
CeeDee Lamb?
CeeDee Lamb.
No, that ain't happening. Nah, CeeDee's going to end up back with that. Yeah, he's going to – Jerry's not going to let him go. He's too good. He wants more money. They all want more money, but he's not going to end up in Cincinnati. I don't think so.
Money for sure.
Yeah, I can't see that.
I mean, if that happens, that would be a little exciting, kind of breathing. Because right now, like everybody wants Burrow, but it's a team sport, right? So you have to have a well-functioning team. You have to have some leaders on all the different positions. And right now, we have concentration risk in the quarterback, in my opinion.
No doubt about it. I mean, you need all that to be successful and to win. And hopefully, like I said, they have a good opportunity to have a good season. And we'll see what happens. They got to stay healthy, though. That's the most important thing in anything, Riggs.
Yeah. And I sound like a broken record with him. Some people just end up getting hurt. And if you look at, like Johnny C used to say, it's like the best way to measure future results is by looking at past performance.
Yeah.
If you look at his past performance, it doesn't bode well for the team, right? So
it definitely does, and it looks like it does hurt him a little. What else has been going on?
Who do you think was the best Batman, you think?
What do I think the best what?
Batman, like the
who portrayed it? Jimmy, who do you think?
Yeah.
See, I'm old school. I go to Adam West, but and that's what we typically do is we pick who we grew up on. So if somebody is a little bit older, maybe Michael Keaton as far as the movie wise, but I go back to what I think is the original series with Adam West.
How old are you, Jimmy?
55.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I don't remember the Adam West one. Maybe I was in the United States. I would say like the choice would be Val Kilmer, Michael Keaton, and George Clooney.
Clooney, yeah.
Or what's the last? What's the guy? The crazy guy who played? I forget his name now. Anyway, the guy we played with the Joker with. Oh darn!
The Joker.
Anyway, I would say Val Kilmer would probably be my pick among
Val.
Batmans.
Yeah.
Did anybody in the movies play it twice? Like 2 in a row, 3 in a row, or anything like that? Or no, did they switch every time?
Well, what the guy who also played the Terminator? I forget his name.
Arnold?
Now. No, not Arnold. He's the guy who went crazy during a shooting of the movie. Like he has a reputation for it. As soon as I
Christian Bale.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Christian Bale. I think he played it a couple of times.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I do believe so. Don't forget Ben Affleck.
Yeah, I forgot about Ben. How many have there been? Like 10? Wow.
About that.
Wow.
Clooney.
Yeah.
Let's see. The thing is, Val Kilmer was one. Keanu Reeves, but I think that was in probably a animated series. That's the problem. When you look it up to see like who's ever played Batman, there's a ton of them there because a lot of them were animated series over the years too.
Yeah, I'd say Christian Bale if you're gonna attribute the character to like the mystery kind of crusader, the cave crusader, because Christian Bale really nailed that. Clooney was good, but he was just the same, He's just like the handsome Clooney.
Yeah, very vanilla.
He's too recognizable to play a role like that, if you ask me. Because the whole idea is he wears a mask, you don't know who it is, right?
Yeah, that's why I didn't take the Batman thing. I had a chance. I said, no, I'm not hiding his face, Riggs. I'm not doing it.
Kilmer, it's not that like you didn't know who Michael Keaton was. Don't get me wrong, but it just for some reason Clooney's just so. Yeah, you just see that chin, and you get turned on.
Yeah, exactly. And with Affleck, I think he overcommitted. He wanted to write it, direct it, and star in it, and he took so long that by the time he was done with it, people were like, "This better be good, given how long you took." And it was okay. I mean.
Well, anytime you have a movie, it's just like when James Bond, they switch it up every couple of years. 3 or 4. Daniel Craig is going to be gone now, new guy, and you're going to have a new person play the role. You're going to have the old people who, really liked it. When Daniel Craig came on for James Bond, a lot of people didn't like it. Then all of a sudden they got used to it. And they were like, he's cool.
Yeah, that's what usually happens, right?
No, but most people don't like change. They just don't, especially if they dig something.
No, I agree with you. When Daniel Craig, I was like, what the heck? Like a blonde James Bond? But he rocked it.
Oh, no, he was good. I thought he
was next level.
Yeah. And again, like I said, we as humans, most people don't like change.
There were multiple people that played Batman more than I know. Keaton was in 3 of them, according to this. Batman Returns, and The Flash in 2023. That we heard about because he came back and reprised a role. Kevin Conroy was in... Dang, pop-ups. Let's see. Now Clooney was in 1. Kilmer was in only 1. Christian Bale was in Batman Begins 2005. The Dark Knight in 2008. The Dark Knight Rises in 2012. So he was at 3 times.
Wow.
Affleck was at 3 times too.
Was he really?
He was in Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice 2016, Suicide Squad 2016, Justice League 2017, Zack Snyder's Justice League 2021, and The Flash, where he again was in it 2023.
Wow, so he's in a lot.
So there, multiple ones that played it multiple times.
And J-Lo is not happy.
Yeah, Affleck was supposed to be the franchise, but he just he just was overwhelmed.
I think also too, a lot of times he had some issues and fighting some demons on his end.
Yeah. No, I get that. I'm not knocking the guy. I'm just kidding you.
How's the weather out there, Riggs?
Oh, it's so beautiful. It's like 72 degrees, partly cloudy. Like I was at work, and I'm like, I'm out of here.
Playing hooky.
Great job. I'm gonna call the Penthouse and just hang out.
Call another lawyer.
Yeah,
I'm out.
That's it. I'm doing what I got to do.
Yeah. I'd say the one thing in the 90s that it would surprise me today.
Yeah.
Is internet connectivity. How you don't need to be wired in anymore. You can basically get full speed, full blast internet from the phone. Like when I'm working remotely. I just turn my hotspot on, and I can get internet. And then when I go visit the old country, and it's one of the emerging economies, third world countries kind of thing, they have leapfrogged some of the first world countries in connectivity because they never had to do the fiber optics, like bury cable and all that. They just got the satellite connection, and you're good. Like you don't even need to have the infrastructure in place to provide the cable all the way to the individual units or the businesses.
Yeah, it's pretty wild what they've been able to do, and even some of the Wi-Fi, like anywhere you go anymore, you just hop into somebody's Wi-Fi, and it's super fast now. It is pretty incredible. Yeah, that is one of the things that they talked about technology being on that list in a couple different ways, but that is one that certainly is probably going to be. Remember, just to download a picture back in the 80s with a dial-up modem, it would take like 2 minutes for just one simple image to download on your computer screen.
And now, bang.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing what it's done. It really has. It's just everything else comes full circle and gets bigger and bigger, and more technology gets involved. With AI, I mean, that whole level of it and the craziness that they have. Even when Jimmy's got a website where we went to a couple things and we hear celebrities about us, and I've heard people say, "Oh my God, it sounds just like it." It's crazy, and you're not paying for that. You know what I mean?
AI, that's another one that wasn't mentioned too much, but you incorporate that with robotics. It's just amazing where we are now.
Yeah. Riggs, you are the man. So you're not going back to work. What are you going to do this afternoon? Maybe get a hot shave?
I'm going to work from home. I'm going to work from home. I'm not. I just didn't feel like being in the stuffy office anymore.
Oh, okay. I thought you were taking off the rest
work
of
from home.
Work from home. What strip club are you going to?
That's the name of it. Work from home.
That's a good name for a strip club. Let me ask you: have you ever gone to a strip club during the day?
Well, I generally don't because all the girls are beat when you go during the day.
He's so perfect for this show.
That's Rick saying the quiet part out loud.
Yeah. You're so good for this show. You really are. It's about their personality, Riggs. Come on.
Yes, that is true. Although I've taken clients there before during the day, and so we'll go and have lunch. But this was in Charlotte, though. Cincinnati doesn't have good clubs at all. Like there are two across the river. And I mean, every time I go there, I go all excited and I get them disappointed.
At least they're consistent.
Been there, done that. I've been to Kentucky, buddy.
They are. Yeah.
So, what is the closest state for you that has the best strip clubs?
I would say,
Vegas.
Well, I mean, Vegas is next level, but I would say Chicago is probably the best one where you'll always have the most beautiful girls and you really get what you pay for there. So if you want to have fun, you're going to have fun. Okay. I'd say Charlotte is a short flight away. Charlotte, I'm surprised the strip club scene there is just so good.
Really?
Like,
all right, hold on. Let me write that down.
Jimmy's writing it down as we speak.
Good to know.
But there's nothing like South Florida. What I like about South Florida is that you can be fancy, go have steak somewhere, and have classy girls, or you can get down and dirty, where there are no
rules.
No rules.
Yeah, and they're naked too. I mean, that's the whole thing too. Some states are not. So everything's a choice, Riggs. Remember that.
Yeah, Riggs.
So if you want beautiful women, get down here. That are naked all the time.
We're in the Bible Belt, so they legislate morality. So it's hard to expect that here.
Isn't morality something that's really a fine line that nobody really knows what it is?
I think it's in the eye of the beholder.
That's my point.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah. I know that you may be kidding a little bit, but I totally agree with that. And whenever you have some like Scumbury who has got in political office and he's telling me what he thinks is right for me, I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah, well, we don't want to even get
By the way, good reminder. I know it doesn't apply to you there, Riggs, but so sorry for just half a second, but it is our primary day today, so get out and vote, people.
That's right. If you don't vote, you can't bitch.
That's right.
That's
and
what
it's all about bitching in Greek's book.
It's about bitching. You got to say you got screwed. I mean, that's the whole point. But if you don't vote, you can't say that. So get out there and vote. Shake your ass. Riggs, you are a champ and a scholar. Always enjoy your calls and keep in touch with us.
I'm going to vote for Governor Greek.
Oh, I love it. Everything would be very much negotiable. Everything. You want a bridge? $25,000. You don't want it? $30,000. Next case. Just like that. I love it. Everything.
That's true.
Got that part down.
Great job today.
I can see the billboard now. If you pay us, it'll happen.
Bingo.
And cash is king in this palace. Riggs, you have a great day. Enjoy, and we'll talk soon. Peace.
Take care, Riggs.
It is Jimmy. It is the Greek. Franny's out today. Hopefully she'll be back with us tomorrow. We'll come back with a trifecta and so much more. Peace.
Real Radio is the news junkie.
My Nine Inch Nails take is not a very popular one with Nine Inch Nails fans. Pretty Hate Machine was an excellent album, and everything after it sucked.
Not even Downward Spiral?
That's what he considers the rest of the songs to be. From Pretty Hate Machine, it was a downward spiral.
The News Junkie, weekday afternoons at 3 on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Get ready to win your way to our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, and $1,000.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, September 20th and 21st.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Buy tickets now at AXS.com.
Audible is a proud partner of the 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival. Explore the best selection of audiobooks, plus podcasts and originals, all in one easy app. Audible, there's more to imagine when you listen. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
Let's see what's up with traffic on Real Radio.
Rain starting to move through the Palm Beaches. Watch out for those wet roads. 95 does look good. Accident-free. Turnpike is up to speed. Make sure you slow down for pedestrians. That's traffic. I'm Jody Stewart.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Blindster is a family-run business that began in 2010, and we've sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters and received over 100,000 five-star reviews. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes. Yeah.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
Hey, it's the Greek for Jason Weiser, my attorney. Whether you were injured due to a car accident or medical malpractice issue, a slip and fall, or any kind of injury due to a fault of another, their team can help you. Board-certified personal injury attorneys. They can help you determine the responsibility party and pursue the damages and justice you deserve. Contact them at 561-689-8180, 561-689-8180. No fees unless they win. Jason Weiser, my attorney for over 20 years.
Don't let spring allergies make you miserable. Try the quick, drug-free solution trusted by over 4 million people, Navage. Only Navage uses suction to flush out your sinuses using refreshing saline, helping you breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier. And here's even better news. Navage is now available at your local Sam's Club in a great new value pack. It's everything you need to start breathing better immediately at Sam's guaranteed best price. Navage, Navage. Breathe easy.
Enough is enough. Palm Beach County deserves more than just law enforcement. It deserves law empowerment. I'm Michael Gauger, and I'm running to be your sheriff. Not only do I want to enforce justice, we also want to enhance and empower your communities. It's time for leadership that not only maintains law and order, but also maintains hope, trust, and support for every single resident. Vote Michael Gauger for sheriff.
Paid for by Michael Gauger, Republican candidate for sheriff of Palm Beach County.
Hurricane season is here. Is your home ready to handle strong winds and heavy rain? Don't stress. Expert Shutter Services is here to help. The largest storm shutter manufacturers on the Treasure Coast, Expert Shutter Services offers top-notch protection with Cat 5 rated Ultra Shield hurricane screens and Nautilus rolling shutters. Call Expert Shutter Services now for a free in-home consult at 772-871-1915. That's 772-871-1915. Expert Shutter Services. We're taking the shutter industry by storm.
When a hurricane hits, it's best to be prepared. Since 1996, StormSmart has installed over 100,000 protection and lifestyle products in Florida homes. Call 866-61-SMART today for your free in-home consultation.
If you're thinking about selling your business, now is the perfect time.
Florida's economy has attracted great buyers that are actively seeking new investment opportunities. Simply put, they're looking for businesses just like yours. At Transworld, our mergers and acquisitions team has extensive experience in confidentially selling privately held firms across all industries. Call us today at 833-735-5352. That's 833-SELL-FLA. And speak confidentially with one of our advisors with no obligation. That's 833-SELL-FLA. Or visit transworldma.com. Once again, that's transworldma.com. Transworld Business Advisors, the #1 lower middle market firm in Florida. Good deals, good people.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-488-2594. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-488-2594. That's 800-488-2594. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Progressive Insurance makes it easy to save money. When you bundle your auto policy with home, condo, or renters, you'll earn a multi-policy discount. Easy to bundle, easy to save. Visit Progressive.com. That's Progressive.com.
Injured? Hire America's largest injury firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Here's the latest with weather on Real Radio.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. It's a hot and humid one out there for us on this Tuesday. Temperatures in the low to mid-90s as we move through the afternoon. We feel, though, like the triple digits, so be sure to stay hydrated out there. Scattered thunderstorms are going to move across the area as well, mostly starting inland and pushing northeast towards the coastline with heavy downpours as our biggest threat. Otherwise, we remain partly cloudy for the rest of the day.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's best sale of the year, Labor Day sale. Save up to $900 on select adjustable mattress sets from Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, and Sealy. Plus, get up to a $300 instant gift for pillows and more.
Between the lines, far beyond legal and ethical limits, and under the surface.
Dangerous or disruptive to the existing status quo.
Hosts Ben Bolin, Matt Frederick, and Noel Brown introduce you to the world of stuff they don't want you to know.
We have officially entered the age of biohacking.
History is riddled with unexplained events. Is somebody messing with us? Now, it's time for some answers.
Take us to the edge of the rabbit hole. We'll do the rest.
Listen to Stuff They Don't Want You to Know on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Stuff They Don't Want You to Know and start listening.
Greek Trifecta is sponsored by Jason Weiser, attorney at law.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. You're listening to The Penthouse Now back to the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Yes, you're in the Penthouse. You know why? Because it's the best. Anywhere you go, if you sit in the Penthouse, you know you're a baller. We appreciate you guys listening to R&R all the time. Real Radio 92.1. Don't forget, football will be here before you know it. We are home of the Gators, and on 101.7, you can listen to the Miami Dolphins. Francis is out today. Hopefully back with us tomorrow. Jimmy's in the house.
Hello, and good afternoon.
We're going to do a quick trifecta, and then we got a special guest.
Riders up. It's Creek's Trifecta.
Yankees playing Cleveland tonight for a couple of games. Two of the teams that lead in their divisions. Yankees are second in Major League Baseball with 73 wins. Dodgers have the best record with 74 wins. We'll see what happens. Judge and Soto are leading the Yankees. What a 1-2 punch they turned out to be. But they're going to need more than that if they're going to win the division and possibly do well in the playoffs. Tom Brady, he said his three best quarterbacks. And three of the best quarterbacks, he says, right now are Patrick Mahomes, no surprise, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson. You're going to hear a lot about Tom Brady's picks because don't forget, in about 2.5 weeks, he's going to start earning that $35 million a year for Fox when he does the first game, Dallas and Cleveland. Oh, I hope he can live on $35 million because that's going to be tough. I mean, it really is going to be tough. Poor Tom. Love Brady, though. He does hint about coming back. He doesn't want to leave. He doesn't. He'll go like a month without it, and they'll be like, hey, you never know. I might come back, which is crazy for him. And again, NFL, there is a lot of trades still being out there and free agents being signed. A couple players still not signed. CeeDee Lamb with Dallas Cowboys, he's still out there. Chase with the Bengals. And our Miami Dolphins, they have their last preseason game this week. They're taking on Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And if you didn't hear this morning, Tua slammed ex-coach Flores saying, you know what, he verbally abused him and just treated him terrible every single day. And that is your trifecta. Now we're joined by this gentleman. I am a big fan of his and a friend. Mornings on WJNO. He is a staple of that station, does a great job. And it is primary day, as Jimmy just reminded us. So Brian Mudd joins us. Brian, how are you?
I'm always excited on Election Day, and even if it's primary Election Day, we can still take a look at just being 11 weeks away from the Election Day. And there are also some things you can tell about, like voter enthusiasm, that kind of deal, from who actually turns out to vote today. It's always fun.
Now, you glad sports betting got legal so I don't come into your studio every day and say, it's happening? You'll be like, no, it's not, Greek. I'm like, yes, it is. Are you glad that's over with?
Well, yeah, that the tribe finally chose a lane. The crazy thing is that they waited that long. They could have gone a lot sooner, and they finally decided to go ahead and pull the trigger, and things have worked out. So, that part is good. By the way, I wanted to ask you about something. You were talking about Brady, his $35 million to be in the booth. Something I've always wondered about. Who gives a rip as long as the announcers are listenable and a broadcast is viewable? Mm-hmm. Who gives a rip about who the announcers actually are? You're either going to watch the game or you're not.
Exactly. I mean, I feel the same way, but the guys who run those networks think so.
Who is going to watch an NFL broadcast because Tom Brady is calling a game? I mean, seriously, people actually do that?
Again, that's what these executives think for, Fox, CBS, NBC, ESPN. I wouldn't think so. I'd have somebody who is good announce the game because they're there. It's like a hot girl. Do you really care if she's got a good personality? I mean, really? Does it matter?
Well.
If she's smoking?
Well.
I
Jimmy?
was glad you showed up, Brian.
I agree.
When I was in my youthful days,
yes,
and that was more of a consideration, what I would say is that might work for literally one date. But if I couldn't intellectually connect with you, I couldn't get past that first date.
All right, so go into that segue because I know you have morals.
Speaking of morals, the last segment.
People have said, or on dating sites, or even people I know, they won't date somebody, because you're Mr. Political, if they don't have the same views as their partner. Say Democrat, Republican, or on major things. Obviously, in my life, I didn't even care. I mean, somebody asked me one time, a girl asked me about the Middle East one time, and I'm like, oh, Baltimore. I think the Yankees got a good pitcher. I said, I thought you think the American League East, the Middle East. So how important is it, or would it be important to you if you were in the single world again, if you met somebody you liked, but they weren't politically on the same page? Like, I know somebody who won't date somebody if they got a COVID shot.
Well, I mean, look, to the point about the COVID shot thing, it's about deeper underlying issues. And I could actually give you two different answers to this. and it is based upon age. So when I was young, I didn't care. And in part because I was still politically engaged highly, even when I was young. But people are malleable when they're younger. Most people do evolve quite a bit politically by the time you can vote at 18 versus where you are at 38, 48, what have you. And I always believe that, hey, I will convince people of my position regardless.
Okay.
And I found that when I dated, when I was young, most people spent a little time with me, saw things my way. And so I didn't even think twice about it.
But did politics come up a lot when you were dating?
In part because of my persona, yeah. Because I got involved in politics at a pretty young age. I mean,
you were like 11, I remember.
I was, what I always tell people is, Michael J. Fox was an actor.
Yeah.
I really was Alex P. Keaton. I was that kid in the 80s with the Reagan poster and everything else. That was me. I was always political. Newt Gingrich was my congressman, but he's also a kind of like a family friend, and I used to hang out in his office as a kid.
Oh, no kidding.
I'll never forget.
I didn't know that.
This is one of the craziest stories I ever had. I was just a kid at this point, but my dad, his friend was an attorney at the office.
Okay.
And so I didn't like hanging out with the attorneys. Newt shared that office with the attorney, like the space there. And so I'd go over and hang out in Newt's lobby. And if he was around, every now and then he'd come out and say hi. And one day, this is 88.
Okay, wow.
88, he comes walking out with this little dinky flag that says Atlanta 96 on it. Nobody's talking about the Atlanta Olympics in 96, in 1988. That wasn't on anybody's radar. And he comes walking out with this little flag, and he hands it to me, and he said, Brian, we're going to bring the Olympics to Atlanta. And I'm looking at him like, okay, crazy old man. It's like, whatever you say. And then to see how that all came together, the work that went into it, and I mean, it was really neat. And there were things like that kind of shaped me. So I always was a very informed person, but also a very political person. I started listening to talk radio about the time that, pretty much that Rush went national. So
when you would date somebody, would you ask them their political views?
People knew about me, so it just kind of was a thing. And usually when I was young, where I grew up, people were pretty much on the same page with me anyway.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't a big thing until a little bit later on. But, I didn't beat anybody over the head with it.
No.
Where I think it gets different is when you're talking about a real relationship, right? Not when you're young and you're dating, you're having a good time, or even if you're...
Well, what is a real relationship?
I was going to say, or even if you're between relationships and you don't really know what's going on, but you're having a good time, that's one thing. But if you're talking about a serious relationship, I absolutely think it matters big time.
Yeah.
And not so much about left and right or whatever else that way. It's about values.
Well, values are different to me than your political thought process.
But they're related to it.
Yeah.
So you're not going to have very strong values, one direction or another, without also being pretty passionate politically one way or another. So the two tend to be intrinsically related.
You could have values where you're going to respect your person you're dating, not cheat on them, put them first, and care about them, and say, I don't care about politics because I think both sides are crooks anyway.
Well, that's true. No, you could be apolitical. To your point, I've run into plenty of people that are pretty much apolitical, and you get a lot of people that will call themselves independent that kind of fit in that mix too, that even are engaged politically, but don't necessarily line up one way or another. I get all that, but if you have people that are very strong in certain areas that are our values that tend to be whether they're religious values or society-based values and beliefs about how things should go, that almost always is going to be a tell about something that is tied to politics. And so if you have somebody who is very strong on one side of the political aisle and somebody who's very strong on the other, the values are not going to line up. I have never once in my life seen that. And there are only a few people that are on opposite sides of the aisle that feel passionately about that I've ever seen that have been able to make marriages go.
It could even go so far as not even necessarily a party as it is just a single issue.
That's right.
I mean, that's another thing, too. I mean, you may have somebody that isn't really all that political, but they feel very strongly about whatever. Just name it, right? So freedom of speech, right? So one person might feel a lot more strongly about it than the other side, and that can cause a rift just by one single issue. But yeah, I don't see too many people, especially in today's environment, where if you are on polar opposite sides of the aisle, where you can get along. I mean, it's just. In general, people are not liking each other, and of course, that's driven a lot by the media.
Who is that guy, James Carville or whatever?
Yeah, James Carville. That's one of the few. That
And his wife was on the other side.
Work. Yes.
Yeah.
That's one of the very few that is
Republican, Democrat.
But that's why you even know that, right? You're not a very political guy, and you know that because that's how rare it really is. And, that's the bigger deal. I mean, got it at Jimmy's point. You take a look. About half of marriages blow up anyway, right?
Yeah, 56%.
And that's without necessarily starting out on opposite sides from one another. If you do that, Lord knows what the success rate is probably going to be.
So if you were dating today, would that be a question you would ask somebody in the beginning, or where do you stand politically, or would you not? We're talking to Brian Mudd, who does mornings on WJNO. Good guy, one of the guys I would say hi to outside the building.
So one of the things...
Isn't it an honor?
Having gone through my days of youthful indiscretions, having married my high school sweetheart, having divorced her, and then having married my soulmate after the fact and had some bumps before I got to that place as well, what I would tell you is I personally wouldn't pursue somebody who isn't already a friend.
A friend.
And
well,
the
that's
reason
different than a political view.
I agree.
Yeah.
And if you line up, you're going to end up being friends. You're going to be more inclined to be friends. And the reason I realize this is, and some of it's science, when you are attracted to somebody, a lot of people confuse love and infatuation, for example. And lust.
Of course.
That's a chemical reaction, right?
Of course. Wanting to bang somebody and love somebody, two different things.
There you go. Statistically, you can keep that chemical reaction going for up to a year. Some people, it might only be a few months. Some up to some people
Couple
up to
hours.
a year. The question is, whatever point you aren't getting that chemical kick every time you see that person, okay, what's left there?
The
and
friendship.
if you're not, that's right. If you're not friends, if there's not that next level that binds you, you're probably not going to end up having a good, sustainable relationship. And that's also where those values kick in and everything else.
And you also have to like the person.
No doubt.
I mean, that's very important. You have to like the person, what they stand for, who they are, values, different things like that. Pretty deep for
You
you
sound
today.
like my wife, actually, because she said on many occasions when we've gotten into a little rift here and there, she said, I love you, but it's important that I still like you.
Oh, but it's true.
Yes.
You have to like the person.
Sure. I mean, if you don't have that, then you don't. It's hard to have the rest of it.
Yeah, and the other part is, too, I think if you don't, it's easier to walk away.
No doubt.
Because then you're like, you know what? What am I really missing at the end of the day?
Which, by the way, I mean, was interesting because there was a time, going back and even in the early years of our marriage, we've been married for over 15 now, friends for about 20. But
so you were friends 5 years before that?
Yeah.
Did you ever think about dating her when you were friends or no?
Yes.
Oh, but she didn't want to date you?
That's a whole story unto itself.
Okay, give me a small part. Yes or no?
I was still.
Oh, we got another hour.
I was still.
You're not going anywhere, are you?
Married.
Oh, you're still
and
married.
she was engaged.
Oh, so that's great.
When we
was it serious?
And we never cheated on each other. The relationships didn't blow up because of the other. We actually double dated. With our exes.
Oh, that's whack-a-dacka.
Isn't it?
My God, that's
That's why I say it's a
Well,
whole story unto itself.
You do have to come back. even I'm rubbing my hands now.
There's a crazy story there because,
So you double dated with your wife when you were with somebody else.
That's right.
And was there any attraction on that date? Did you say,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Always with me, yeah.
Wow. So you were saying on that date, and I've never been in an experience like that, like where I was like, wow, I wish I was with her. That's rare to be on a date and want to be with the other person. Did you feel like she had the same thing?
It just didn't seem like it was a realistic possibility at that point. So I didn't entertain it beyond just I always kind of had a thing for her.
Yeah, the internal. Just the internal
That's
feel
right.
of it. But you just didn't act on it until an appropriate time.
But I mean, her ex ended up saying, she told me after the fact,
Yeah.
you shouldn't hang out with that Brian guy because he likes you.
Really?
And I laughed
really?
and I
Oh, wow.
said, well, he's right.
So he picked up that you liked her,
Yeah.
and you were engaged at the time?
Well, no, I was actually, the time when we double dated, it was after I got divorced and I was with somebody and she was with somebody else. But, when I first, ended up knowing her and liking her, I was still married and she was engaged to somebody else.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how did her thing blow up? Do you have time to come back? Because it is interesting.
Yeah.
You have a couple minutes yet? Because I want to see. I want to see how you had sabotaged this whole thing. It is the Greek.
Yeah,
Jimmy,
we're taking notes, actually.
Greek and Jimmy, and we're talking to Brian Mudd, WJNO, a guy that you would think is just so straight, nothing goes wrong in his life. But behind those pages, there are some more pages. We're going to find out. Then we'll get back to some Florida stories. But this is very unique. I've never been on a double date with somebody and said to myself, looked across the table and said, I wish I was with her. I mean, that's got to be very weird. And, especially having attraction to somebody else. Have you ever done that? Like, been out and yeah? Were you on with somebody and say, well, I wish I was with her? Because when I'm usually me, I'm like, thank God I'm not with her.
I mean, I don't know if I want to say I wish I was with her. Yeah, I'm sure I have. Yeah.
Really? Yeah, I've never said that ever in my life. I've
My
always
ass.
No way. Ever been on a double date, want to be with somebody else's date? I've never thought that.
Well, the other
I'm
thing
being
is,
honest.
my date hit on her during that date.
Your date hit on your wife?
All right,
Yes.
we're not even going to commercial. Just screw it. We'll make up the spots later.
All right, we're going to go. We're going to come back with you. Oh, my God. And I thought I was the
He's
crazy
rubbing off on you.
Oh, my God. We're going to come back in a couple of minutes to hear what the hell happened in Brian Mudd's life. We'll be back. Peace.
Got something to say? Text us at 47142. Start your message with Real Radio. Standard data and message rates apply, and don't text while driving. Here's traffic on Real Radio.
Rain starting to move through the Palm Beaches. Watch out for those wet roads. 95 does look good. Accident-free. Turnpike is up to speed. Make sure you slow down for pedestrians. That's traffic. I'm Jody Stewart.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Blindster is a family-run business that began in 2010, and we've sold millions of custom blinds, shades, and shutters and received over 100,000 five-star reviews. Don't hire an expensive pro. Do it yourself and save big at Blindster.com.
Hey, it's the Greek from Monroe's and Palm Beach, 7 days a week. That's where the beautiful ladies are. Open to 5 a.m. with a 5-star menu. And Sunday night is Midnight Madness. Every Sunday from 12 to 2. In the biz, 50% off drinks. Step right up, spin a wheel of madness, win amazing prizes. Sunday night at Monroe's. Get you ready for the week. Monroe's and Palm Beach. That's where all the sexy, beautiful ladies are. Peace!
When the going gets tough, the tough get Storm Smart. Since 1996, Storm Smart has simplified the process of protecting your home. Our storm catcher screens and shutters are designed and manufactured here in Florida. Along with impact windows and doors, Storm Smart ensures your experience from purchase through installation is seamless. We know what it takes to keep your home safe, livable, and beautiful. Because Smart is making it easy to protect your home. And Smart is simple. Call 866-61-SMART today for your free in-home consultation.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
You hear more and more about identity theft in the news every day. That's because so much of your personal info is out of your control, like your insurance provider that has your Social Security number and your favorite retailer that has your payment details. If they get breached, your information's vulnerable. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code PLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes. Yep.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
Point! Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Real Radio weather.
From the Gordon Partners Weather Center, have you or a loved one been injured through no fault of your own? Call 561-333-3333 or go to fortheinjured.com.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. It's a hot and humid one out there for us on this Tuesday. Temperatures in the low to mid-90s as we move through the afternoon. It's going to feel, though, like the triple digits, so be sure to stay hydrated out there. Some scattered thunderstorms are going to move across the area as well, mostly starting inland, pushing northeast towards the coastline with heavy downpours as our biggest threat. Otherwise, we remain partly cloudy for the rest of the day.
This report is sponsored by Qdoba.
Steak it up a notch with new habanero lime steak from Qdoba. Grilled steak tossed in habanero sauce, lime juice, and fresh cilantro. The perfect hit of heat to spice up your entree. Here for a limited time only. Order today at Qdoba.com or download the app.
Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys Studios.
You been in an accident? Call Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys at 1-800-747-FREE.
That's 1-800-747-3733.
Real Radio 92.1 is WZZR West Palm Beach, an iHeartRadio station.
Listen on your free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts. Free never sounded so good.
Hey, it's Rover. Real Radio has your shot at $1,000 and a VIP trip to Vegas for our iHeartRadio Music Festival. Text the nationwide keyword Vegas to the number 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeartRadio info, standard data, and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's Vegas to 200-200. And good luck from Rover's Morning Glory and Real Radio.
Boys, happy Tuesday. All right, I was just listening to Mike McDaniel on the Pat McAfee show, and I'm convinced that dude is on Babanya. Now, I know it's medically legal. That's fine. Good for him. But if you can run an organization and be high half the time, good for you. And that's probably the reason why he's not yelling at Tua, because people that smoke pot, a little more calm. Just saying, people out there. Later. And gee, just one more question for you. I've been doing pretty well with the unders in the NFL game so far for preseason. A couple of parlays and then taking the team to win. Hit like 3 of those over the weekend. Made some good money. I see the market has corrected because not a lot of the games are over. Unders are around 34, 35 now. They were around 39 for the past 2 weeks. So keep looking for that under train, boys. Choo-choo!
You're listening to The Penthouse. Now back to The Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Jeremy, you're always the best. Yeah, the unders last weekend was huge windfall for anybody. I think like 80% of them came out. So you definitely are on the right train. It is the Penthouse on a Tuesday. Hope you guys are having a good day. If you're not, it's on you. Jimmy's here.
Hello and good afternoon. Just a quick reminder, it is Tuesday. That means it's just the Tip Tuesday. Go check out our Tuesday Instagram post if you want to win a pair of tickets to see Megadeth for the Destroy All Enemies World Tour. That shows this Saturday at, I think, Financial Amphitheater. So not only Megadeth, but Mudvayne's going to be there and All That Remains. So go find us on Instagram, Real Radio 921. And it's easy. I put up a post earlier. Look for the Megadeth Just the Tip Tuesday Instagram post. Like that post. Follow us on Instagram. I don't know why you're not already. Tag a friend and hashtag Real Radio 921. That'll get you in the running for those tickets. And we're going to pick a winner tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Thank you very much, Greek.
Oh, you're the best, Jimmy. Thank you. Francis is out today. Hopefully she's back tomorrow. We do have a special guest, Brian Mudd from WJNO, who does mornings. And he was telling us a little bit, if you just jumped in, about he was on a double date, and the other side, the other table, was a gentleman and a young lady who he actually ended up marrying, but who he liked. And now, and the other part of this is that your date actually hit on your wife.
Right, so
that's very complicated.
It is.
Did you need a lineup card?
Well, so
that night did she hit on her?
That night.
A little music for it, maybe?
So that night.
And I didn't know at the time. I learned about this
down the road.
Down the road. In fact, after we were together, I learned that my date hit on her, actually in the women's room of all places.
How did that make you feel?
I didn't care at that point.
You didn't care?
No, not really. But I mean, so
now say the three of you had a night together. Would you think that would have changed?
If the three of us had a night together, I'm probably not married right now.
So that would have bothered you?
I don't think we would be in the same place.
Why
I don't
not?
know that it would have been possible to have been in the same place.
So you think that attraction would have just, if it was the three of you and they said, hey, come on in and we could bang this out, you would have not wanted to marry her?
I'm not that big of a guy. I don't know that there's that much of me to go around.
Nobody's saying there's
not that big?
Well, there's three for a reason. You don't always have to get involved. You know what I'm saying? They ever say by the time I was at Caesars and I was with two girls and I had to go get ice, I went down the hallway. I was never back in.
That was it. Tag me in. Tag me in.
Yo, there's three for a reason. You can take a break.
Yeah, so this whole conversation kicked off by talking about Florida's primary election day and values and everything else.
Only on Real Radio.
And it kind of takes us full circle here.
Yeah.
And it actually is part of the explanation about how this all came to be.
Okay.
After I got divorced, and the setup for this is you always like to bet. You like picking winners. You'll win a lot. My dad, up to that point in my life, when I got divorced, said that I ran through life with a horseshoe lobbed up my rear end. And one day that thing would fall out.
Okay.
Because through a combination of hard work, but also a lot of luck, everything I did always seemed to work out.
Good.
And so I was real successful, real young, in a lot of different things. You know, business, radio, you name it. And the one thing I took for granted, obviously, was my marriage. I didn't even know that she wanted a divorce until she told me she wanted a divorce. That's how clueless I was, busy doing other things.
That's not that uncommon. A lot of times you hear people say, like, they didn't know the other person was so unhappy. Because if you're not, say, really fighting.
Right.
And you're and you're still banging it out, you're like, all right, you know, ups and downs, you know what I mean? Like the track. You win a couple of races, you lose a couple. But unless somebody comes home and says every night, I'm miserable, I hate it. That's why a lot of people do say I was shocked.
Or you don't fight.
Yeah, that's right.
But that doesn't necessarily mean everything's all gravy.
That's right. Yeah, there's experts say you should always check with your mate and say, hey, how are we doing? You know, stuff like that. And I think that's a great thing. It's something I never did because I was like, you're with me. You got to be doing good.
Yeah, well, obviously. Clearly. I mean, that's
and that
winning.
is probably what I took for granted, too, is that she's like, hey, you're just so lucky to be with me. But what happened to me after that, because I'd always come up aces.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I get kicked on my butt like that.
It happens.
I failed at something big, and I didn't even see it coming. I rebelled.
Okay, but is failure in a marriage really a failure, or could it just be where it just didn't work out with two people? Because a lot of people really take that to heart. I'm not saying like my divorce, you know what? I wasn't happy about it.
Yeah.
And you know what? But is it really a failure on my part, or maybe just the two people didn't connect?
Well, without boring you with a lot of details, I mean, there are two things that I learned.
If you were boring me, you wouldn't be on the show.
There are two.
Clearly.
There are two things I learned.
This is the most we've ever gone without talking about Greek.
And I think 18 years.
It's true.
The first thing is I realized that we just decided from high school that we were going to get married. And I think we just kind of executed the business plan rather than really reevaluating after college whether we should get married. We just kind of did it. That's one. But the other was, I mean, I could take a look back after she said, hey, I think I want a divorce, and realized how I took her for granted for years. So, no, I mean, there are a lot of things I could go back and take a look at.
So let's go to your present wife. You're on a double date, and you liked her.
So here's the deal. I mean, that whole thing, I rebelled against everything that had been up to that point. And so I went for the opposite.
Did you vote Democrat?
No.
Okay. He'd never go down that road.
There's no amount of substance or anything else that could happen.
I was going to say, you rebelled. You go Democrat? Did you have dinner with Obama?
There was a series of dating I did with women that I never previously would have gotten involved with.
Yeah, I knew one was ready for
and it's this one in particular.
I remember when you first told me, I was like, who are you
She
dating?
played for both teams.
Oh, yeah, she did. And she was nuts. She really was. I mean, I would have definitely, I think I would have went to the relief pitcher if I did. I might not even have showed up. She was, because to me, that was like, wow, when you told me that. I'm like, who are you dating? And knowing her, I thought she was a very fast girl, you know, and not saying anything bad. She just was. And I wasn't worried about you because I knew at the end of the day,
everybody should have been.
But I did think there was some bumps in the road ahead of you. But I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't think it was my spot to say anything. Because when somebody's dating somebody, and Jimmy, I think you would agree. And what are you going to say? Don't. I was just like, hey, have a good time. But I knew she was crazy. You know, and if you knew she was crazy in 2 minutes, she told you.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So everything was on the board. I mean, it was Monopoly, checkers, and Frisbee all in one.
I got home and I never knew who was going to be in my place, for example. That was a thing during that relationship. But yeah, that's what happened is I rebelled against who I was. So I dated people that I never previously would have dated. She was one. And so during this point of dating, she ended up living with me, which is another huge mistake I ended up making because she lost her job. This was during the recession. And we were on a double date. And sure enough, somewhere along the way, they end up going to the women's room. And my date ended up pushing my future wife against the wall and,
shaking her down.
Doing what she got away with.
And what did you find out about this on the way home?
After I was dating my future wife.
Oh, she told you. She said, in the bathroom, she hit on it.
Yeah, but not then. I didn't learn about it for probably another couple of years.
And clearly no interest, obviously, because she's straight.
Yeah, no,
right.
She was more shocked by the whole
No,
thing.
they went to Acapulco for the weekend.
My question with that, though, is you sort of were at that point with that relationship for you and you're the girl you were seeing at that time, where it was even maybe subconsciously in the back of your mind, like, I know I'm not with somebody forever here. This is, just a dating moment, or you may not have known it, but you kind of knew it.
So here is the lesson I learned the extraordinarily hard way. That mistake was more expensive than my divorce.
Yeah.
And it also involved more attorney's fees than my divorce did.
Really? Oh, wow.
So
the Porsche.
Yeah.
The car.
I mean, it literally ended with power of attorney being handed to somebody who could make her go away, where she took my car, she took most of my stuff. And when my dad was even asking me about this, I said, look, you can replace your stuff, but you can't replace your sanity.
True.
That's how bad that relationship ended. But what I learned the hard way was she came back. So we dated. We had a good time for a little bit. And then I'm like, okay, this is nuts. To your point. A few months later, I dated around a little bit, and I wasn't getting anywhere. I wasn't connected with people, wasn't happy. Mm-hmm. She came back and said, you know what? I really think I want a serious relationship now. And when she was sober,
she was cool.
She was cool and really smart, and we really connected. And I was like, maybe she's serious. So we're dating for like a week, and I've known her for a while, and everything was cool. So she ends up getting this new apartment, and she calls me up the first night. She's like, oh, my God, there are roaches everywhere here. Can I come over? I'm like, yeah, come on over. Well, her landlord didn't want to do anything about it.
Yeah, so she
needed to break her lease.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, you can stay here in my place until you get this thing figured out. She lost her job the next week.
Yeah,
so now she's living with me.
With no job.
With no job.
Okay, so we're back to
Yes, this is how things went crazy there that way. It was just the long story short on this deal is in Florida, if somebody has financial dependency on you and it's established, including, that became their address, you have to go through a full-fledged eviction process. I mean, it's not like getting a divorce or anything, but you can't just tell them to
get
hit
them
the curb.
out. Okay.
Yeah, it's like a squatter.
Okay.
It's like a squatter.
That's right. Basically a squatter type situation.
All right.
So it turned into a crazy situation.
It was bad. I remember
It was
that.
really bad.
Would you believe this true or not? Years ago, I was at Caesars and I bet $3,000 on a Little League baseball game.
$3,000 on Little League baseball. And I thought the listener, playing unders on preseason NFL football was something.
Somebody's got to win, somebody's going to lose. So how long did it take you to end up with your wife? And how did you keep in touch with her while she was engaged? Did you ever call her periodically, hey, what's up, what's going on? Like, how did that research?
We worked together for one.
So I didn't want to say that. I was trying to keep that out. I wasn't want to say that.
Nah, it's all cool. No, we talked almost every day along during all of our
So when she first told you she broke up.
Yeah.
Now, did you pounce or did you take a knee? Because that's a tough area. Because you don't want to pounce because then the person thinks like, oh, you've been, behind the scenes, rooting against me.
No, so here's a true story on this.
Oh, we appreciate the truth here.
Yeah.
Finally. It only took 18 years.
I am the youngest of 5 in my family. I got 2 brothers. I got a brother who's 6'4", another who's a shade under 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
I'm 5'6", and what I always say is, I got the genes that were left by the time that my parents got around to me. If you line me up with my brothers, you never think I'm related to them. And so the bottom line is, she had said that she would never date somebody.
Okay.
When this goes back years prior, when we were just friends.
Yeah.
She would never date somebody who was under 5'8".
Yeah,
I never thought I had a chance with her because
All right.
I
That's
was
legit.
too short.
Right.
Yeah,
That stayed in my brain.
Did it really? Because people say a lot of stuff. And then they're like, I've said things. And then,
Well,
but
it's understandable.
Sure. Yeah, 5'6",
It's
5'8"
different when
plus.
you throw money around everywhere, but it's some reality. This is
Wow, you're 5'8" all of a sudden. Here's $2,000. So again, her and her boyfriend break up.
Everything blows up. So I'm finally out of my disaster.
And you're single too.
She's saying she's getting ready to move to Denver, which is where she grew up.
Okay.
And so she's getting ready to leave here and everything else. I'm like, it's kind of a now or never type of thing. So I asked her on a date, and I already asked another girl to a concert, and I was already going with this other girl, and she said yes.
Oh wow! All right.
And so then I had to tell the other girl, hey, just kidding.
It happens. It just a lineup change. Sorry.
And I didn't even really. She thought we were going to go just as friends.
Okay.
Because that's the way we had always been.
Sure.
And so it was on that date that I made it clear that
You
I was
wanted to be more
interested in something a bit more, and the rest was history.
And then she canceled Denver.
And she canceled Denver.
That's a nice story.
How
really.
about that? Really?
Yeah. Look at the odds of that. I mean, she was engaged to somebody else, right? Because you think
I was married to somebody else.
I would have never thought they would have had a
The
child.
circumstances around it. And again, I know it doesn't seem like a lot or we want to joke about it, but the fact that she said she doesn't like people at a certain, because that's a big thing with looks in certain areas, and height's usually a big deal.
And that goes back to being friends, right?
Yeah.
That ended up not being a big deal to her because we connected.
Right.
Yeah.
Because things were right with us.
And I always say, if you connect with somebody, it doesn't matter.
That's right.
Somebody might say, you know what, like you said, it might politics or size or the height or blonde or brunette. But if you really like the person, it doesn't matter.
Which is why one day, Greek,
Yeah.
you will find that woman
Or guy.
You will get married, and you will
Not off the table.
and you will get married again.
No way.
Nope.
And you will get married again.
No.
Nope.
I love you to death. I'll put you on the show. I don't want to say never to anything. Let me put it that way, because I've learned that. But I don't know if I would get married again. I don't know. I didn't want to get married the first time. I mean, honestly. I mean, everybody.
Not good. Not good.
I'm being honest. I did it because I did it because I'm a nice guy. And I'm like, all right, exactly.
I got married, picked up the groceries.
I did her a favor.
No.
Threw her solid that weekend.
I'm not saying I did her a favor in any shape or form. I'm not saying.
Did she do you any favors?
Go back to mine. My dad used to say, rest his soul. If it doesn't end bad, it doesn't end. It's one of his greatest lines. And he's true. And he also said, if you got a problem, write it down on a piece of paper, put it in a drawer.
I love this one.
And open the drawer 6 months later. If it's still there, you're the problem.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
It was a good one. And for me, a lot of times, it was still me. But things happen. That's why we got erasers on pencils. I mean, things happen. But that's a unique story where you guys were friends. And see, I would have never, in a million years, where she was engaged and you were with somebody else and you ended up together. Wow. But she sort of felt that you liked her or not liked her?
She didn't get it.
Okay, so she didn't know.
Until that night that we went to the concert.
At the concert, right?
She didn't get it.
Yeah, I was friendly with a girl one time for about, a while ago, and I never knew she liked me. And then she told me years later, after she got married and she was going through a divorce. And she's like, that I did like you all those times we went out, but I took her out as a friend. I didn't think anything.
I think a lot of times men, women underestimate the power of attraction of the opposite sex. And what I mean by that is, can, guys, be friends with women independent even of a relationship? Sure, and vice versa. But what are the odds over time if you have two people, maybe reasonably attractive people, whatever else, similarities, that there isn't going to be kind of that natural thing there? And
it happens because it's almost like, I might as well. You know what I mean? And there becomes also that little bit of intrigue there. But I think when you meet somebody and if it doesn't happen right away, you say to yourself, I didn't think anything because whatever. I was waiting for you to do something. And I was like, well, I was waiting for you.
Well, one of the things that
I might as well bang you.
It's like the laws of attraction.
You sell Girl Scout cookies? I mean, what are we doing here?
$6 a box.
If your mom's hot, we'll buy every box.
I'll take a case.
What is the most you spent on Girl Scout cookies, by the way?
I don't. And one seating, one time.
One seating. What are we planting a crop?
I was in Boca one time. I think I must have spent, maybe $100.
I've seen her call you tell me. It's like, I dropped 100 on it.
Yeah. But the mom was smoking.
I think it was 200 actually. If I remember the story right, it was 200.
And I gave them all away. I remember I said to her,
I don't want these.
Yeah, I don't want these cookies. Is that your mom? She goes, yeah. I said, I'll take every box you got. And I had another line, which I can't say on the radio.
You go,
sure you can.
You just pick them up at Publix. You go from the Girl Scout thing to the person who is doing the donations on the other side there.
Yeah. We didn't make any money on it. It was a lost leader.
What was the ROI like that day?
It wasn't good. It was more fun. For me, it's more the juice, than anything else. Being able to pull the move off like that. But I think your story is very intriguing. I didn't even know that. I knew a couple of the things, but I didn't know that you were on a double date and then you ended up. I mean, I'm sure when people talk about it, you get around people and everything, you're like, wow, we were on a double date and now you're together. That's rare.
Well, and this is what I would tell people because, and this applies to you too, Greek. People who have gone through really rough times, relationships, everything else, divorces aren't where they want to be necessarily. Things make sense when they make sense because all the way through that entire experience, the divorce and the crazy people I dated and the horrible experiences I had after that, it all made sense in the end. And part of that was, by the way, I had done very well financially at a young age too.
Yeah, well, if you got money, it's a lot easier.
I lost pretty much everything but the roof over my head during that experience.
No, you got your ass kicked. You did.
I did. And
but
that
you
was
bounced
necessary.
back.
Well, and the thing was, it all would have been different if I had the money that I had once upon a time when I got together with my current wife, it wouldn't have been the same. We were both in a similar place at that point, and being able to build everything back together.
And bond.
Yes, the common goals, and that has been such a huge part of the success in our relationship. So even getting my ass kicked that way financially and all those bumps really made sense in the end.
Do you think that you would have ended up together had you not dated the one who was sort of semi-crazy?
Yeah, it's hard to know. I've never been a
because you
regret
worked,
person.
since there's that. It's not like
It's a
that
really good
was
question.
the only time that you met. So maybe you would still have.
It's really hard to know how things would have been different because that occupied the better part of a year of my life. And it
seemed longer.
It was when I got her out of my life, finally, all the way, that I got together with my future wife. It was within a month. So it's a really interesting question I don't know the answer to, but I've always operated kind of to your point on not having regrets. People always ask me, do you regret this or that? For all the mistakes I made, I don't really regret things because I'm happy the way things worked out. And if you change those things, it needed to happen.
Yeah, if it worked out good. I mean, and I also think that anytime you spend time with anybody outside of work or anything like that, you have to have some likability to the person. Whether there's something going on or not, whether it's two guys hanging out and having a cigar, or you go out with a girl and you're having dinner and you're doing this, you got to like the person somewhat to be around. Because if not, you're not going to be there.
Yeah,
so there is some attraction there. There has to be.
Yeah, and not that there's anything wrong with that.
Oh, no, there's not.
Of course not.
There's nothing wrong.
If you're talking about your two guys with the cigars.
No, there's nothing wrong with that either. But I'm not going to sit down with a guy. I'm not going to sit down with a guy with a cigar if I'm going to hear him bitching him all the time about me or something like that. I'm like, I don't need you. You're going to check my morality out? You're either on the
I can change this lineup card any moment.
That's right. You're either Team Greek or you're out. I mean, don't forget, there was a rumor 2 weeks ago I was dead. Brian, always great talking to you. I didn't know we were going to go there. It was supposed to be 5 or 7 minutes about if you dated somebody and they didn't have the same political thoughts as you. Because, again, when I think politics, I think of you.
Well, here, I tell you what. All right, here's an answer, and I thought about this, and I kept forgetting it whenever this comes up. Look at it this way. And this is, in a way, a serious response to your take on that. How do you feel when you've got money on a game and there's somebody else there that's rooting for the other team?
I'm not happy.
Very similar.
If they're vocal about it.
Because they're rooting for the other team.
Yeah, sure. If they're vocal about it in my face, I'm not happy. If
exactly.
They
That can be the same feeling that people have if
politically.
They, whether it's a particular issue or a party or, anything like that politically. It's very similar to that.
No, you're right. I mean, if they don't say anything, I don't say anything. I mean, a lot of times.
If there's no.
If I don't know and they don't know. But if somebody's in my face, I usually say to the person, how much do you have on the game? And I give it to them. And I'm like, shut up.
Go away.
Yeah,
go away.
But that's the feeling.
Get out of my life.
That's the feeling that some people can have with that.
Because like you said, it's being displayed. If you don't know, you know what I mean? Like he said, it's like anything somebody's into religion or if you're pushing it on the person, then you get like, hey, bro, you're into that. That's great.
Exactly.
But I'm not. Don't try to recruit me. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's the way I look at it.
And that's why I think it's different when you're younger versus more established in life, too, because your value system is kind of set at that point. Can there be some shifts later on? Sure. Is it going to be the same way as when you're young, still figuring things out? Probably not.
No, because as you get older, you realize, you know what? Everybody's screwed and we're going to die soon.
Yeah, pretty much.
We still have work to do, Greek.
Oh, I know. We definitely do.
God loves you, too.
Oh, I'm sure he does. He should. He created me. That's right. Are you kidding me? I'm one of his best billboards. Brian, always great. Brian Mudd in the morning on WJNO. Well, not hear this sort of stuff, but he is talented and he's very entertaining. Check him out in the mornings.
And we got to talk about Newt.
Yeah, and again, another interesting thing. And if he goes for politics, he will never say he knew me in any shape or form down the road. Not surprised.
Congressman
By the way,
Mudd.
one more on that. The last time I saw Newt, he was checking out. Ashley was wearing something with a little bit of cleavage. He was checking in on that.
Really?
Oh, wow.
That's
okay.
a compliment. Ashley being your wife. We'll be back in a few minutes in the Penthouse. Peace.
Real Radio is the News Junkie.
When C-Lane said aneurysm, I've seen a couple of videos
Of people having aneurysms?
Yeah. There was one where I'll try to see if I can find this. He was just like walking into the lobby of a building.
Click favorites.
Mm-hmm.
And
The News Junkie, weekday afternoons at 3 on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Get ready to win your way to our 2024 iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, and $1,000.
T-Mobile Arena here in Las Vegas, September 20th and 21st.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Buy tickets now at AXS.com.
Own the moment with the Ray-Ban Meta Smart Glasses. Wear timeless styles with technology that lets you listen to music, capture pictures and videos, live stream, make a hands-free call or text, and even ask Meta AI questions on the go, all while you stay present in the moment.
Getting you up to speed on traffic on Real Radio.
Travel times on the expressways up to speed. No major delays on the Turnpike or 95. Road work in Boynton Beach continues. Lawrence Road shut down between Hypaluxo Road and Lantana Road. Use Military Trail instead. That's traffic. I'm Jody Stewart.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Time with family, laughs with friends, and cash back. Discover's got you covered on the last one. That's because Discover doubles all the cash back you've earned on your credit card at the end of your first year with cash back match. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
Got a car to sell? Hey, it's Franny, and whether it's your daily driver, classic muscle car, or even a whole collection, GimmeTheVin.com wants it. Skip the hassle of dealerships and lowball offers. At GimmeTheVin.com, just enter your VIN or license plate and get a top dollar offer in minutes. They'll even beat a CarMax offer or pay you $100. Plus, you can visit one of their locations or have them come to you. Sell your car the easy way with America's best car buyer, GimmeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Mr. and Mrs. Flavor, thank you for joining us.
Great to be here. I'm Barry. I'm the flavor of Barry.
I'm Janet. I'm bitter.
You wanted to talk about your son. He's the flavor menthol?
Yes, he's the menthol in a menthol cigarette.
He's such a disappointment. Out there getting people addicted. Being used by big tobacco to target black people. He could have been a lozenge.
Menthol cigarettes are just as addictive as regular cigarettes and harder to quit. Find out how to quit today at tobaccofreeflorida.com.
Is there a sticker on your garage door? If something goes wrong and you need an expert to solve your problem, are you just going to call that number because the sticker told you to? I mean, isn't that something your husband would do? Better call these guys, honey. The sticker said so. Can't violate the International Sticker Code now, can I? What kind of self-respecting man in a house surrenders his independence to a ratty old scrap of paper with glue on the back? Of course, if you find a Mo Better Garage sticker on it, you might want to listen to your husband just this once. Because all garage door stickers are not created equal. No matter who installed your garage door, you can call us to repair it. Our technicians are expertly trained on the widest range of equipment with the experience to solve any problem. How do I know? Because I'm Mo. After we fix it, we'll put our sticker on it. So your husband has someone to call.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Enough is enough. Palm Beach County deserves more than just law enforcement. It deserves law empowerment. I'm Michael Gauger, and I'm running to be your sheriff. Not only do I want to enforce justice, we also want to enhance and empower your communities. It's time for leadership that not only maintains law and order, but also maintains hope, trust, and support for every single resident. Vote Michael Gauger for sheriff.
Paid for by Michael Gauger, Republican candidate for sheriff of Palm Beach County.
I'm Mark Anajar. I'm Glenn Levine.
I'm Ellie Anajar.
Together, we're Anajar and Levine.
If you've been hurt in a car crash, we'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call Anajar and Levine for your free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE.
In office, West Palm Beach. And now, another insurance story from...
Wow, I wonder how much all this costs. Shh. Well, it can't be cheap. Do we even have enough for our own you-know-what?
Honey. Shh. I heard he bought final expense insurance through the Smart Bunny app.
The Smart Bunny app?
Like on your phone?
I know what an app is.
For the love of all things decent, be quiet.
Get up to $25,000 of lifelong coverage for funeral expenses, debts, and other needs for as little as $14 a month. And no medical exam is required. So hop on the Smart Bunny app now and grab some final expense insurance.
Honey, are you buying the insurance, like, right now?
Time is precious.
So true.
Shh. Smart Bunny Insurance. Your Insurance Super App. Insurance is sold by Smart Bunny Insurance Services and underwritten by various companies. Coverage exclusions and limitations may apply.
News Junkie is sponsored by FAMU's Mary. Educate, learn, talk.
You hear more and more about identity theft in the news every day. That's because so much of your personal info is out of your control, like your insurance provider that has your social security number and your favorite retailer that has your payment details. If they get breached, your information's vulnerable. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity's stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code PLAY at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Hey, checking in?
This is not just your flu shot appointment at Walgreens.
Yes. Yep.
This is getting your entire family vaccinated in one trip.
Hey, Mom?
And a snack on the way out. Get flu shots for everyone in your family, together. Schedule appointments online today. This is wellness made easy. Walgreens.
Vaccine subject to availability and for ages 3+. State and health-related restrictions may apply.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. Robert Half is here to help. Their recruiting professionals utilize their award-winning AI to connect businesses with highly skilled talent. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today.
Here's what's happening with the weather on Real Radio.
From the Gordon & Partners Weather Center. Have you been injured in a motor vehicle accident? Call 561-333-3333 or go to fortheinjured.com.
I'm meteorologist Lauren Oleski for CBS 12 News. It's a hot and humid one out there for us on this Tuesday. Temperatures in the low to mid-90s as we move through the afternoon. We feel, though, like the triple digits, so be sure to stay hydrated out there. The share of thunderstorms are going to move across the area as well, mostly starting inland, pushing northeast towards the coastline with heavy downpours as the biggest threat. Otherwise, we remain partly cloudy for the rest of the day.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's $1 Small Frosty Deal. Get ready to cool down this summer with the ultimate treat. This delectable dessert is too thick for a straw, but just right for a fry. Is it a milkshake? Is it ice cream? Neither. It's a Frosty. Come taste your favorite small Frosty flavor for just $1. Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's.
Between the lines,
far beyond legal and ethical limits,
and under the surface,
too dangerous or disruptive to the existing status quo.
Hosts Ben Bolin, Matt Frederick, and Noel Brown introduce you to the world of stuff they don't want you to know.
We've officially entered the age of biohacking.
History is riddled with unexplained events.
Is somebody messing with us?
Now it's time for some answers.
Take us to the edge of the rabbit hole. We'll do the rest.
Listen to Stuff They Don't Want You to Know on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Open your free iHeart app and search Stuff They Don't Want You to Know and start listening.
Greg's Trifecta is sponsored by the physicians at MMJ Health.
This is Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7. Real talk for the Palm Beaches and the Treasure Coast. Listening to the Penthouse. Now back to the Penthouse on Real Radio 92.1 and 101.7.
Yes, it is the Penthouse on a Tuesday afternoon. Very interesting conversation there with Brian Mudd from WJNO. You never know what an onion's got. It's got a lot of different layers, and you got to peel it back sometimes. Everybody's got unique lives out there. So Brian stopped by, and we went into one question. We ended up maybe one that ended up in Georgia, and we ended up in Idaho. So pretty crazy. Jimmy's in the house.
Hello, and good afternoon.
And Francis is out. Hopefully he'll be back with us tomorrow. And so we're going to get into a quick trifecta.
Riders up. It's Greg's Trifecta.
All right, Tom Brady is going to be announcing soon for Fox, and he's going to be out there, and he gave his opinion on the 3 best quarterbacks so far in the NFL, and what he said was he likes Patrick Mahomes, no surprise. He goes with Justin Allen and Lamar Jackson are his top 3. The basketball, Steve Kerr is not going to be coaching in Olympics going forward. He just helped the team win and coach them to a gold medal. In the future, it's going to be Coach Spo. The Miami Heat's going to take the reins, and Lou, who is the coach of the Clippers. Kerr had a great run with the Olympics, but now he's going to go into a different direction, and he's not going to coach anymore. Also, he was at the Democratic Convention earlier today, and I know he did speak on that. Yankees tonight in Cleveland, tough game for them. Both of these teams lead in their divisions. Yankees with 73 wins. Dodgers have the most with 74 wins, and hopefully the Yankees can get a little bit better and get some more bats. So all they got is Judge and Soto. And after that, these guys aren't batting their weight, and they need some relief pitching. And that is your Greeks trifecta for the last time in the afternoon on the Penthouse.
47142 is the text line. Start off that text with Real Radio. I've got a couple here we're going to get into. Tua's comments to me only show that the Dolphins are moving in the right direction. They fired Flores, which was a great move in my opinion. If the Dolphins lose the first 2 games, that will cause dummies to lose it. Like Greek already said, it's not how you start. So that's one person's opinion on the whole Tua situation. And even if they were to lose the first 2 games. Another person wrote in, is there anything against Brady playing for the Raiders? And we've sort of covered that a little bit, but for him to play for the Raiders, I guess it would take, pretty much a miracle at this point. Well, he's got the contract with Fox, so he'd have to get out of that somehow, which I'm sure that they would let him if he wanted to.
Sure. But he has to get an approval once he becomes an owner. I've said this before. All 32 teams have to approve it on a vote for him to play again.
And again, there's also the fact that if he's got part ownership in the team, he couldn't then at that, right? I mean, isn't that a rule,
I don't know if that's part of the thing is that the stipulation is that all 32 teams would have to grant him.
Okay, so that's only if he's a part owner.
Yeah,
okay,
I believe that.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. Got another one in at 47142. Says, hey, fellas, I'd be shocked to see an NFL perfect season again, fins up. So we were talking earlier in the show today about something that if you were to wake up, you were from the 1980s and you would have woke up into 2024, what would be something to surprise you? And they say seeing a team with an NFL perfect record. Another person wrote in, made $632 in 15 minutes betting on table tennis, G-Man. Wow. Gotta love the Hard Rock app. Yeah, that's right. I agree with that 800% there, buddy. We were talking a little bit of Batman earlier, and this person wrote in, speaking of Batman, Jack Nicholson had, you're going to love this, Greek, had one of the greatest contracts for playing the Joker. His pay for the role was $6 million, but that wasn't all. He negotiated a percentage from merchandise, and the next few movies that he wasn't even in totaled for $90 million.
Wow.
That was sent in to us via text 47142. And finally, last one, again, going back to what happens if you woke up in 2024 from the 1980s. In 1980s, I would be surprised by the prices of used cars today. And boy, no kidding there. Not to mention a whole bunch of other things. Thank you very much for your participation in the text line. Want to take a phone call, G-Man? We got our buddy Mike checking in with us. Hey, Mike, how you doing today, bud?
Amazing thing is, like Greek just said, the Yankees need bats, relief pitching at the end of August. And he's right, but how sad is it that that is the reality, that you do not have 6 to 7 players to help you win the title?
Yeah, it's amazing, but like I said, they got 73 wins, and the other night, tough game with Holmes. But they got Cleveland. That's going to be a tough series. Talking to Mike, who has been with us for a long time, usually joins us on the Greek Zone. I'm making a special appearance today. And, Mike, I know aficionado in horse racing and college football, you're excited about this weekend. What are your thoughts? You don't have to make a pick, but what are your thoughts on Georgia Tech and Florida State?
Well, G-Man, it's a little scary so far. 2-point movement so far to Georgia Tech. The line was funky when it came out. It's very funky now. I don't really know how good Florida State is, and I really don't like the way they ended the season last year, pretty much throwing in the towel and getting their head beat in against Georgia. A lot of guys moved on. They got Uiagalelei from Oregon State, and he's a capable game manager, but to me, he's not a great quarterback. People rave about Haynes King from Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's, I think, on the way up. They've been playing a little bit better the past few years.
Well, they like the quarterback. They think he's very good, and, obviously the game's going to be in Ireland. If it was in Tallahassee, it's different. Where is the line today?
Line today is right now at 10.5.
Wow, that has dropped. Woo.
I mean, that is sharp money, and it'll change. I mean, I'm assuming Florida State bettors will come in towards the game when everybody realizes, the casual fan, that there's college football on Saturday. But right now, I'm a little concerned with that number. And unfortunately, this game is the only game people are going to probably bet this weekend.
Yeah.
So it's going to get more focus. You feel like you have to bet it because it's the only game on TV. I don't know which side I'm going to be on yet. Although you and I spoke briefly, I think Georgia Tech would be the side right now.
Yeah, I'm all over GT. And now that it dropped, I love it even more that it dropped. We're talking to Mike, our aficionado for horse racing and college football and picks in general. Always joins the Greek Zone. Alabama, I know you're a big Tide guy. And some people are saying, you know what, they'll go 10-2, 7-5, I could even hear. First of all, do you think they make the playoff?
Well, I don't know. And the reason I don't know is because I don't know how the selection committee is going to rank the other conferences. And the SEC clearly, head to toe, is the toughest. You can make the argument the Big Ten's right behind them. But if there's 4 to 5 teams that make it from the SEC, I think Alabama does get in. I'm looking at Texas, Georgia, Ole Miss, Alabama. Missouri's going to have a great season. They return a lot of guys.
Georgia.
LSU dangling out there, and then Tennessee. And I said Georgia, yeah.
Well, then that's like 7. Yeah, that's like, I don't think 7 will go in. Do you think Alabama has the capability to go 9-3?
I do.
Yeah.
I think it's you can't afford to have any hiccups in the non-conference schedule. The non-conference schedule consists of USF, who they almost lost to last year on the road. You and I watched that game. That was pathetic.
Yep.
And the tough game for them, I'll know how real Alabama is when they play Wisconsin on the road. And if they handle Wisconsin on the road, which is a tough place to play, we'll kind of have an idea, I think, of how Alabama's season is going to go.
Now, all summer, we heard a lot about Georgia, obviously, and everybody loves them, and Ohio State. But all of a sudden, the juice has really come on Oregon, who lost their starting quarterback in Mix. But a lot of people really love Oregon. And AP put them third, and you keep hearing about them, having a great team. And again, changing conferences, tougher competition this year, no doubt about it. What are your thoughts on Oregon? Oh, is Oregon going to be that good? Where all of a sudden they go, plummet all the way to third. Texas is fourth, but they got a lot of injuries already.
I think that Dylan Gabriel is a very capable quarterback who's playing at his third school, and I think Dan Lanning's a great coach. I think when you look at Oregon as a whole, stepping into the Big Ten is a step up. I don't think they're outclassed. I think they're the best of the Pac teams that are coming over. I think USC's in for a really, really rough year.
And UCLA too. Both.
And so is Washington, just because of how many kids left. But no, I think Oregon's going to be great. And oddly enough, Ohio State is favored to win the conference, but the game that's in October in Eugene, Oregon is favored to beat Ohio State. So make that of what you will. But I do think the Ducks are going to be there at the end. And the same sentence, would not be surprised if the toughness of the Big Ten wears on them throughout the year. There's no more Arizona State's Greek or Stanford.
Yeah.
It's just a quick rollover. I mean, week in, week out, you're playing tougher teams. So I think the Ducks are for real.
Let me ask you about Florida having, arguably one of the toughest schedules we've talked about in the league, in the whole country, excuse me. Do you see them getting 5 wins? Because I don't.
I don't. Betting number, though, what did we say, Greek?
4.5.
I can't remember if we said the under. Yeah, okay, but that's with the juice?
If you bet them to bet under, you get plus 125.
Yeah, so that's really the bet.
Yeah.
But if you're betting season totals, I think so do you. No, the Gators have a brutal schedule, but the Gators have such a brutal schedule that if the Gators go 9-3, they probably get in as the last wild card team.
Oh, if they went 9-3, it'd be
brutal. That schedule.
If they went 9-3, it'd be amazing. Are you kidding me? With that schedule, 9-3, I don't think they're going to go. I think they're going to go probably 3 or 4 wins and 8 losses.
So do I.
But
then you have guys like Joel Klatt, who made a comment last week that if Florida was in the Big 12, they would probably be the favorites to win the Big 12. Just kind of go show you how tough the SEC really is. And
and again, you don't know until they play.
No.
Colorado this year, do you think they make any noise or no?
a watered-down Big 12. Utah and Kansas State right now are the co-favorites.
Yeah.
I think it's still a tough conference. I think there's too many disciplinary issues at that university that continue to come out by the day. The lack thereof, I should say, lack of discipline. I'm not sold on the Buffs, and I think they're in for another tough year.
Yeah, I think it's going to be tough. And the Canes, with the new quarterback, people are excited. Talking to Mike, our good buddy, aficionado in sports betting and horse racing. What do you think of the Canes? I think they handled the Gators easy first game. What are your thoughts?
I haven't been this high on the Canes since I was, the year 2001, 2000 when they were. That's how excited I am about Miami right now. I think with everything that they brought in on the transfer level, Cam Ward, Damian Martinez. I mean, they got some guys now. There really is no excuse. And the thing for Mario Cristobal is if you don't get off to a hot start, that seat gets a lot warmer. Miami is 2.5 on the road at Florida week 1. Gainesville's a tough place to play, and Gator fans will show up because the season's new. But, really, Miami should roll this team by 17 points. I don't really see this being a game.
I don't either.
If Miami, the reports are that everything we've heard out of camp so far out of Miami is true, then Miami's in for a really, really strong season.
Yeah, I think so, too. I mean, I think they're going to have a good year. I don't know how good. I don't know about ACC, but I think they'll beat the Gators, and that's one step at a time. That's the way I look at it. Talking to Mike about college football and the upcoming games, and like you said, this Saturday, Georgia Tech against Florida State. That line has dropped, and also the odds line has dropped, too. I do like Georgia Tech. If it drops before 10, man, I'm going to not be happy because, again, I have some things down already, but, man, you want to get in there when it's that 11.5 and 12. And who do you think coming out also, any other sleepers that you think costly? Mississippi, do you like them a little?
I love Ole Miss. Ole Miss won the transfer portal this offseason. They had the highest transfer class. They got a few kids from Tennessee. They returned a ton of guys, including Jackson Dart and Trey Harris, arguably the best quarterback-receiver combo in the country, outside of Fafia and McMillan from Arizona. I'm very high on Ole Miss. I really am curious to see if Lane Kiffin takes the next step as a coach. They claim that this team looks like an SEC football team, meaning the size is finally there. No reason why Ole Miss can't win some games this year and really be in the playoff conversation towards the end of the season.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be an exciting year, but I think with the playoff, it's going to be so different. It's something we've never seen. And as you get older in life and talk about sports or anything else, it's rare that you can say, hey, I've never seen this. And this is the first time you're going to have a 12-team playoff, what people have wanted for so many years. And it's going to be very exciting, but you're a purist in a lot of ways. Do you think this is good, or did you like the old system?
Yeah, Dabo Swinney made a good comment about a month ago. You wonder if teams already have it locked up, do they start sitting guys that rivalry week now? They could, I guess. If the conference title doesn't mean anything for a team that's 12-0, do they just not really care and rest some guys? You really don't know what the deal actually is. I'm a purist. I had no problem with the BCS when the BCS was around, but the computer format always usually kicked in the best two teams. Yeah, teams got screwed, but in reality, you're going to see, which I'm not really a fan of, a team that is the best probably lose in that first round of that playoff.
Oh, yeah.
To a team that shouldn't be in.
Well, I think it's going to be just like the March Madness. You're going to see upsets. And again, these teams got to play a little bit more games. You got 12, and then a couple more you got to win. So you're talking 14, 15 games maybe for some teams. And that's a long schedule for these kids. I mean, years ago, these colleges.
Not only that, Greek.
Go ahead.
I actually, I love, and you know this, I love bowl season. And I just don't know how it's going to really affect the bowl games now.
Oh, it's going to definitely affect it. The bowl games will still be there, but with different impacts, obviously. But we'll see what happens this weekend. But I'm going Georgia Tech. We're talking to Mike, our good buddy, who usually joins us on the Greek Zone and does come in once in a while in the studio, and a good horse player. Mike, we appreciate the call. And what is your last thoughts on the Yankees? Can they win the division?
I have the Yankees under 95.5 wins. And I think that puts them around 92, 93. And I think Fangraphs has them winning 94. They beat the Orioles by a game. I don't know. I just don't see it. They come out and lay an egg against the Indians or the Guardians, early this week. Schedule is very easy. I think they have one of the easiest schedules in baseball for the rest of the month and a half. But it's not a very good team for a team that has 73 wins. And I hate to be a spoiled Yankee fan, but just the truth.
I think that 95.5 is going to be tough. I mean, that's only 21 games. We'll see. We'll see. It's going to be right there. It'll be right there. No doubt about it. Mike, always great talking to you, brother.
Of course it will.
Of course. It's right
They
there.
always know.
I mean, they just do. They got 30-some games left.
Yeah.
I mean, 40, whatever. Good talking to you, brother, and we'll get a cigar soon, my friend.
For the listeners out there, are you going to have the sting of the Yellow Jackets that Greek is bringing on Saturday, or are you doing the tomahawk chops like the Knowles? Guys, have a great week.
Thank you, buddy. We'll talk soon.
Take
It
care,
is the
Mike.
Greek and Jimmy. Jimmy, great job today. Thank you so much for all the extra things you did today. Good job, my friend.
Thank you, Greek. Have yourself a great afternoon, and thank you for listening.
It is the Penthouse. Francis should be back with us tomorrow. You guys have a great afternoon and stay dry. Peace.
Hey, it's Rover. Catch Rover's Morning Glory weekdays from